Chapter 1267. Now he could only rely on this method. No matter what, Mu Lianfeng thought that he had to try. If he succeeded, he would not be afraid of offending imperial consort Hua. Although the emperor did not have much real power, the imperial edict was still more powerful than the imperial edict of the empress. Okay. But there's no hurry. Let's take a rest today and go tomorrow. Mu Lianfeng nodded and let go of Zhao Yuner reluctantly. He whispered in Zhao Yuner's ear, "Yuner, don't worry. No matter what, the only woman in my heart is you. The only woman I want to marry is you." This sentence seemed to be Mu Lianfeng's promise to Zhao Yuner. Zhao Yuner answered, "Okay. Mu Lianfeng, I believe in you." Okay. After Mu Lianfeng and Zhao Yuner lingered for a while, they hurried to the mountain. He wanted to settle the matters on the mountain so that he could leave for the capital tomorrow. Otherwise, Mu Lianfeng would not be at ease if he did not tell her anything. There were many things on the mountain. It would be difficult for Mo Yen to deal with them alone. Zhao Yuner went to old Zhao's house. She was going to help Liang Jinxiao take care of the food for old Zhao's family. As soon as they arrived at old Zhao's courtyard, they heard the quarrel in the courtyard. Because at noon, old Zhao's family found that there was much less meat, especially steamed meat. It was too little. After eating last night, Hua Chunhua checked the leftovers. Now that she looked at them again, she could tell that something was wrong. She shouted in the courtyard. She was shouting at the people of old Zhao's family. "Who the hell is it? Come out and eat the food in the kitchen. Aren't you afraid of being stuffed to death after eating so much steamed meat? How shameless. How dare you do such a sneaky thing? If I catch you later, I'll tear you apart." Hua Chunhua scolded and spat out saliva from her mouth. Old Zhao's daughters-in-law were trembling with fear. Seeing Hua Chunhua's fierce look, they knew that they would be in trouble later. After all, if Hua Chunhua was in a bad mood, they would suffer with her. Hua Chunhua stood and scolded for a day. Feng Zhangxia came to Hua Chunhua and said to Hua Chunhua, "Mother, we were full last night and we were not hungry. Why did you steal the food in the kitchen? Don't you think so?" Hua Chunhua snorted, "You didn't steal it? Then tell me, could it be that the meat in the kitchen grew wings and flew away?" Feng Zhangxia pursed her lips and continued to explain, "Mother, what are you talking about? Think about it. There are so many leftovers. Anyway, we can eat as much as we want on the table. You didn't say anything. Why didn't you eat it at the table? Why did you steal it in the kitchen every day?" When Hua Chunhua heard this, she fell silent for a moment. Her eyes turned and she felt that Feng Zhangxia's words made some sense. She nodded and said, "Eldest daughter-in-law, what you said makes sense. Then can you explain to me who stole our leftovers? I checked it last night. There's no mistake." Feng Zhangxia thought for a moment. Hua Chunhua said, "Mother, did a mouse or a cat steal the food?" Chapter 1268. Feng Zhangxia was silent for a moment. She thought about it and agreed. The cupboards were all locked, so cats, dogs, and mice couldn't open them. It was impossible for cats, dogs, and mice to steal the food. However, Hua Chunhua would be suspicious of them if they said that the food was eaten by humans. She would probably nag non-stop. However, Feng Zhangxia was clear that it had nothing to do with her. "Mother, I don't know. Anyway, it wasn't our first branch who stole it." Feng Zhangxia began to clear her name. "Then who stole it? Damn it. Which heartless bastard stole all the vegetables? If I catch him, I'll skin him alive." Hua Chunhua swore. After scolding, Hua Chunhua still felt uneasy because she didn't know who stole the food. What if he wasn't caught and the food in the kitchen was stolen again? Hearing Hua Chunhua's nagging, Feng Zhangxia's eyes turned. She moved closer to Hua Chunhua and said to Hua Chunhua, "Mother, do you think it was second brother who stole it? I think he stole money last time. I don't know if he's doing it again this time." Feng Zhangxia said this on a whim. If she said this to Zhao Wenshui, it would be better if they could separate from the family if they had a conflict. After Feng Zhangxia finished her words, Hua Chunhua thought about it and felt that it was really possible. After all, Zhao Wenshui had a criminal record. He stole money. It was possible that he stole some food. Li Chuiying heard Feng Zhangxia's words. He scolded Feng Zhangxia, "Sister-in-law, what nonsense are you talking about? What do you mean my Wenshui stole it? Tell me which eye of yours saw it. If you didn't see it, don't talk nonsense and accuse others." Li Chuiying glared at Feng Zhangxia. This sister-in-law of hers must have said a lot of bad things about the second branch on a daily basis. When Feng Zhangxia mentioned it in front of Hua Chunhua, a lot of things could happen. Feng Zhangxia probably contributed a lot to Hua Chunhua's dislike of her. Being heard by Li Chuiying on the spot, Feng Zhangxia couldn't defend herself even if she wanted to. Her expression changed slightly and she said to Li Chuiying, I say, second sister-in-law, I didn't say anything wrong. It's like this. Second brother has this old habit. It's normal for him to do it again. After all, no one in the other branches would do this kind of thing. Feng Zhangxia's words almost angered Li Chuanying to death. Her sister-in-law was too much. She was so angry. Wasn't it obvious that she wanted to put the blame on the second branch? No one could stand such treatment, and Li Chuanying was no exception. She almost fought with Feng Zhangxia. Sister-in-law, you're too much. Did you eat **tea in your mouth? You like to talk nonsense. Li Chuanying said angrily. When did I go too far? When did I talk nonsense? Second sister-in-law, then tell me who stole our family's vegetables. Feng Zhangxia also became angry. She thought of Shin Pan'er's words. The fiercer they quarreled, the bigger the trouble, and the more likely it was that they would have to split from the family. Chapter 1269. Aya, second sister-in-law, you can't say that. Alright. Mother, just take it that I said too much. If it wasn't second brother and second sister-in-law's family who stole it, then I shouldn't have said that. Feng Zhangxia hurriedly spoke hypocritically to Huo Chunhua. However, Huo Chunhua was even more certain that it was the second branch who stole it. She frowned and looked at Li Chuanying with a pair of gloomy eyes. Second brother's wife, your sister-in-law is right. Second brother is a habitual offender. If he steals once, there will be a second time. When we catch him later, we will interrogate him properly. If it really was second brother, see if he wouldn't skin him alive. I will let her know how powerful I am. After Huo Chunhua finished scolding in a huff, Li Chuanying's face turned pale. Wasn't it a slap in her face to say that Zhao Wenshui was a slap in her face? It was all because Feng Zhangxia had slandered her that Huo Chunhua was suspicious of the second branch. When they returned, she would probably catch Zhao Wenshui and scold him. If there was evidence, it would be fine. If there was no evidence, it would prove that Zhao Wenshui ate it. Why should she scold him and get scolded for no reason? Mother, don't listen to sister-in-law's nonsense. Think about it, why would Wenshui steal it? There is no reason for him to steal it. Wenshui had eaten so much during the meal. Why would he steal food when he was full? There is no need for him to do that. Li Chuanying explained at the top of his voice. When Huo Chunhua heard Li Chuanying's words, she also felt that it made sense. That's true. Second brother is eating and drinking well at home. Why would he steal food? Look at him eating like a pig. His stomach is full. Logically speaking, he shouldn't be able to eat. If he could, then he would really be a pig. Huo Chunhua was puzzled and couldn't figure it out. No matter how he looked at it, he didn't think that it was a family member who stole it. Li Chuanying rolled her eyes and said to Huo Chunhua, Mother, why do you want to steal from our family? Was there a need to steal from their own family? I don't think it was stolen by one of our own. We're not the only ones living in old Zhao's courtyard. Li Chuanying's meaning was obvious. Huo Chunhua was not a fool. She immediately understood what Li Chuanying meant. You're saying that third brother's wife stole it? Huo Chunhua pondered for a moment. That was indeed a possibility. They didn't leave any leftovers for the third branch at the banquet, so it was normal for the third branch to do something sneaky. His brows knitted together, and a pair of gloomy eyes fell on the room of the third branch. Mother, I didn't mean that. You were the one who said it. Li Chuanying hurriedly tried to shirk responsibility. She was afraid that the third branch would find her and say that she was the one who said it. Then the third branch would scold her. What do you mean by I said it? I know what you mean. I think it was the third branch who stole it. I'll go find them and ask. Huo Chunhua said angrily. Then she went to the third branch's room and called out to Liang Jinxiao. Third brother's wife, come out. Third brother's wife. After Huo Chunhua called out a few times, Liang Jinxiao came out of the room and said to Huo Chunhua, Mother, why did you ask me to come out? Why did I ask you to come out? Tell me why I asked you to come out. Huo Chunhua said angrily and reprimanded Liang Jinxiao. Chapter 1270. Third brother's wife, tell me the truth. Did you steal the things in my kitchen? There's a lot less steamed pork. There's no one else in the courtyard except for you. Don't quibble and say no. Liang Jinxiao was stunned and looked at Huo Chunhua with grievance. Mother, what the hell are you talking about? How could I steal things? So you're saying it's not you? It wasn't me in the first place. You're still quibbling. Huo Chunhua scolded angrily. Then tell me who else in the courtyard can enter our third branch's room except for your family? It's said that it's hard to guard against a thief in the house. We just didn't leave any leftovers for your third branch. You don't have to act like a thief and steal from us. You'll be embarrassed if word gets out. Hua Chuanhua's words happened to fall into the ears of Zhao Yun'er, who came to the third branch's courtyard. After hearing Hua Chuanhua's words, Zhao Yun'er was very angry and cursed at Hua Chuanhua. I say, grandmother, you're really good at slandering people. Who cares about your leftovers? Do my parents need to steal them from you? Looking into Zhao Yun'er's angry eyes, Hua Chuanhua twitched the corner of her mouth and said, Zhao Yun'er, what do you mean by not caring about them? Don't you still want to eat my family's food? Zhao Yun'er couldn't help but roll her eyes and snort softly, Grandmother, please figure out how much your family's broken things are worth. To put it bluntly, I don't care about them at all. Is there anything that can't be bought with money? Girl, you're really good at talking. Hua Chuanhua's mouth twitched and she couldn't help but scold her. After being refuted by Zhao Yun'er, she suddenly felt speechless. However, in her heart she still believed that it was the third branch who stole it. I'm just telling the truth. Don't let a mad dog out. Just tie it up in the house. If it goes out, it will bite people. Zhao Yun'er snorted, implying that Hua Chuanhua was a mad dog. Hua Chuanhua slapped her thighs and cried, as if she was afraid that no one would know what had happened. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my granddaughter has turned the world upside down. She called her elder a mad dog. In the face of Hua Chuanhua's strange behavior, Zhao Yun'er was too lazy to say anything. Grandma, you are slandering my mother. Isn't that even more unreasonable? I respect you as an elder, so I'm polite to you. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. Zhao Yun'er cast a frightening look at Hua Chuanhua, which made her shiver. Hua Chuanhua immediately shut her mouth when she thought of the suffering she had suffered at the hands of Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er snorted and said, Grandma, if the things were really lost or stolen, then you should check the people in your branch. After all, there are many strange people. Our family's daily meals are good, so we don't care about your things. After Zhao Yun'er finished speaking, she pulled Liang Jinxiao and led Liang Jinxiao into the house. Hua Chuanhua stood in the middle of the courtyard, her face full of resentment. Li Chuanying and Feng Zhangxiao walked forward and said to Hua Chuanhua, Mother Shui-er is getting more and more out of hand. That's right. She's turning the world upside down. What kind of attitude is that? She said that it wasn't stolen, so it wasn't stolen? Chapter 1271. Mom? Yun'er is so powerful. Who dares to provoke her? That's right, Mom. Yun'er is too powerful. Even if the two of us want to help you deal with her, there's nothing we can do. Aren't you just making sarcastic remarks? That's bullsh*t. Who doesn't know how to bullsh*t? Hua Chuanhua cursed. After that, Feng Zhangxia and Li Chuanying's faces turned pale. They didn't know what to say for a moment. Okay. Let's go back. Just pretend that the food was eaten by a dog. How can we catch the thief? No one will admit that they stole it. Hua Chuanhua said. She felt uncomfortable and didn't want to say more. Instead, she went back to her room. Feng Zhangxia and Li Chuanying looked at each other and rolled their eyes at each other. One of them didn't like the other. Zhao Yun'er went to chat with Liang Jinxiao casually and then started to cook. Liang Jinxiao said to Zhao Yun'er in the kitchen, I don't know who stole the vegetables in your grandma's house. If they don't find out, they'll definitely think that we stole it. After all, it was always uncomfortable to be suspected. Liang Jinxiao was most afraid of this. He didn't usually do such things. Naturally, he felt uncomfortable when he was suddenly accused of doing such a thing. Zhao Yun'er understood what Liang Jinxiao was thinking. She said to Liang Jinxiao, Mom, don't worry about this. It doesn't matter. Anyway, you didn't steal it. What right do they have to suspect you? What do you think? I think it was second uncle who stole these vegetables. Liang Jinxiao looked at Zhao Yun'er in confusion. Yun'er, why did you say that your second uncle stole it? Zhao Yun'er chuckled. Because there's no one else other than him. The one with the worst moral character in old Zhao's family should be Zhao Wenshui. Usually he was lazy and even stole money. For things like stealing, if there was a first time, there would be a second time. It was very easy to commit the same crime again. In old Zhao's family, it was impossible for the fourth branch to be involved. Although there were some weirdos in the first branch, they wouldn't do such a sneaky thing. It could only be Zhao Wenshui. If that's really the case, then there's nothing we can do. We can't catch them, so we can only let it go, right? Mother, it's not that we can't catch them, it's that we don't want to. I think we can try to catch this thief today. Zhao Yun'er's mouth curled up into an arc, thinking of the mousetrap from before. It could come in handy now. How do we catch them? Liang Jinxiao looked at Zhao Yun'er curiously. She naturally hoped that Zhao Yun'er could catch the thief so that she could prove her innocence. She didn't want Hua Chuanhua to complain that she stole again. Mother, this is simple. Zhao Yuner told Liang Jinxiao the method, but it was just using the mouse trap. She first told Zhao Baoshan that she would put the mouse trap in the kitchen at night. If Zhao Wenshui continued to steal, he would definitely go to the kitchen. When that time came, he would naturally be caught by the mouse trap. It would be strange if Zhao Wenshui didn't scream. After all, Zhao Xinhui was tortured so badly that his leg was almost crippled. Chapter 1272. If the culprit was Zhao Wenshui, Liang Jinxiao would not have to explain himself. Liang Jinxiao's innocence would be proven. After Liang Jinxiao heard this, he felt that Zhao Yuner was right and made sense. Although this method was a little cruel, compared to the act of stealing from one's own family, this method was not too much of a problem. Yuner, that's fine. We'll do as you say. It's just that your second uncle will have to suffer a little. Liang Jinxiao sighed with emotion. After hearing Liang Jinxiao's words, Zhao Yuner could not help but sigh. Her cheap mother was a little too kind, wasn't she? She actually said that Zhao Wenshui, the thief who stole from her family, was wronged. Punishing him in such a way was already being polite to him. Mother, don't worry. Nothing big will happen. We just have to watch a good show. Yes. Liang Jinxiao nodded heavily. After eating with the third branch, Zhao Yuner prepared some dishes and prepared to send them to Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng was not used to the food on the mountain. Anyway, she did not have much to do, so there was no harm in sending them. Chapter 1273. After all, he had been with young Master Huang for quite some time. He had never seen young Master Huang treat anyone like a friend. Mu Lianfeng guessed that Zhao Yuner did not know young Master Huang's true identity. Otherwise, she would not have acted in such a manner. After all, with his high and mighty status, everyone would revere him. After Zhao Yuner and young Master Huang chatted for a while, they returned to the topic of Zhao Yuner's visit. Zhao Yuner held the box of food in her hands as she explained to young Master Huang, "It's nothing much. I'm just here to deliver some food to the heir. I don't think he's used to the food on the mountain." It was mealtime and Mu Lianfeng was about to eat. Actually, it was not that he was not used to the food on the mountain. It was just that he liked Zhao Yuner's cooking. Because of Zhao Yuner's excellent cooking skills, the food tasted even better. Delivering food? Young Master Huang sighed. His envious gaze landed on Mu Lianfeng. He's really lucky to have such a woman by his side. That's right. Being stared at by young Master Huang, Mu Lianfeng had no choice but to reply. It just so happens that I'm hungry. Can we eat together? Young Master Huang wasn't shy at all. He asked shamelessly. Oh, but I only prepared food for one person. Zhao Yuner paused for a moment before explaining. Young Master Huang hesitated for a moment and looked at Mu Lianfeng. He seemed to be asking for Mu Lianfeng's opinion. Mu Lianfeng's head started to hurt. What could he say? He could only say, that, you should eat. I'll just eat a little. How can that be? Why don't we eat together and each of us eat a little? You can eat. I don't need it. Mu Lianfeng said. He knew in his heart that if young Master Huang was really that sincere, he would have let him eat alone. Why would young Master Huang ask him to eat together? If that's the case, then I won't hold back. Mu Lianfeng, since you're on the mountain, you'll have plenty of opportunities to eat. Young Master Huang's lips curled into a smile as if he was joking with Mu Lianfeng. Zhao Yuner, who was standing at the side, couldn't help but want to scold young Master Huang for being so shameless. How could he be so shameless? At the very least, he should be polite and courteous. However, this person did not even bother to be courteous and acted as if it was only natural. Mu Lianfeng was also speechless, but he couldn't say anything in front of young Master Huang. After all, it was just some food. It wasn't a big deal. Then you eat. Zhao Yuner took the food box and then took out the food from the food box. It was a simple stir-fry from a farmer's house, but it emitted a strong fragrance. After taking a whiff of the fragrance in the air, Mu Lianfeng felt his stomach growling. He began to regret saying that he wouldn't eat. Even a little bit would be good. Mo Yen glanced at the food and gulped down her saliva as well. She was extremely tempted by the fragrance of the food. It was a pity that she couldn't eat it. When she thought about how Mu Lianfeng couldn't even take a bite and could only watch from the side, Mo Yen felt much better. This stir-fried pork with celery isn't bad. It's delicious. Young Master Huang sighed as he ate. After tasting one dish, he tasted another. This scrambled egg with garlic is also excellent. Young Master Huang continued to praise. Chapter 1274. Zhao Yuner brought a large bowl of soup, which young Master Huang poured into his stomach. After drinking, Young Master Huang wiped the corner of his mouth as if he was reluctant to part with it. He could not help but mutter, "Delicious." Mo Yen and Mu Lianfeng were extremely displeased by young Master Huang's actions. Originally, the two of them were already hungry when it was time to eat. Putting aside the fact that they could only stand to the side and smell the food, young Master Huang still treated them like that. It was just too cruel. Mo Yen was tempted to rush up and snatch everything from young Master Huang's hands so that she could eat all by herself. Huang. Mo Yen wanted to say something, but she realized that Zhao Yun was present. She gulped and said, "Young Master Huang, what you ate yesterday was actually made by Yun. Really?" Young Master Huang raised an eyebrow. "I was wondering why the taste was so familiar." "It's delicious. Miss Yun, your cooking is the best I've ever seen." Zhao Yun smiled embarrassedly. That was a little too exaggerated. Her cooking was not bad, but it was not to the point where no one could compare to her. Perhaps young Master Huang had eaten too much of the best food on a daily basis. Now that he was eating her ordinary dishes, he felt that they were delicious. "Young Master Huang is overpraising me." Zhao Yun replied modestly. "No, I'm speaking the truth. When have I ever been too kind? Miss Yun is just too humble." The three of them watched young Master Huang eat alone in the room. Young Master Huang did not feel embarrassed at all, calmly finishing his meal. Zhao Yun cleaned up the dishes. "Are you done eating?" Zhao Yun asked politely. "I'm done." Young Master Huang nodded in response. If it weren't for the fact that her stomach was too full, she would have stuffed a little more into her stomach. "As long as you're done eating." After clearing the table, Zhao Yun prepared to go back. Young Master Huang's gaze was still on Zhao Yun. Suddenly he joked with Mu Lianfeng, "I think this girl is not bad." Mu Lianfeng was slightly taken aback. He was very nervous. He kept muttering, "It's over, it's over, it's over now." Due to his nervousness, Mu Lianfeng did not reply to young Master Huang. Zhao Yun stepped forward and said to young Master Huang and Mu Lianfeng, "Young Master Huang, Mu Lianfeng, I'll head back first. If you have anything to say, please continue." Both young Master Huang and Mu Lianfeng responded. "Yun, drive safe." "Ladies Yun, let's go." Zhao Yun smiled and went out of Mu Lianfeng's tent. When she left, Zhao Yun was also a bit worried. When she thought of what young Master Huang said to the black-clothed man that day, Zhao Yun was afraid that young Master Huang would do something to harm Mu Lianfeng. After Zhao Yun left, young Master Huang smiled at Mu Lianfeng and continued to speak to Mu Lianfeng. "Mu Aiqing, why are you so nervous? Why do you look so pale? Why are you trembling? Could it be that I'm that scary?" Being stared at by young Master Huang, by the Emperor's deep gaze, Mu Lianfeng became more and more nervous. A layer of cold sweat appeared on his palms. Mu Lianfeng said, "Your Majesty, this subject wouldn't dare." "Why wouldn't you dare? How could your Majesty be scary? This subject is just feeling a bit uncomfortable." Mu Lianfeng explained nervously. The Emperor's lips curved slightly. "Actually, I don't know why you're so nervous. Is it because of Lady Yun?" Chapter 1275. Mu Aiqing. Zhen heard that you and this Yun are in frequent contact. Could it be that you've fallen in love with her? It's not a big deal if you've fallen in love with her. After all, this Yun is really good. It's unexpected that there's such a woman in a small village. She's even more eye-opening than some noble ladies. Hearing the Emperor's praise and admiration for Zhao Yun, Mu Lianfeng increasingly felt that the Emperor had taken a fancy to Zhao Yun. It wouldn't matter if other people took a fancy to Zhao Yun, but the Emperor couldn't. After all, this man was the master of the world. As long as it was a woman he wanted, there was no woman he couldn't get. If the Emperor got Zhao Yun into the palace, what was the use of him being the heir of the Shitzi? In the end, he couldn't defeat the Emperor and had no way to compete with the Emperor for a woman. "Your Majesty, this subject has a presumptuous request." Mu Lianfeng suddenly knelt in front of the Emperor and said to him. The Emperor raised his eyebrows and asked, "Presumptuous request? What presumptuous request do you have?" "Mu Aiqing, don't be so polite. If you have any request, just say it. If Zhen thinks it's okay, Zhen will naturally agree." Mu Lianfeng frowned and thought for a while. "Your Majesty, this subject thinks that Yun is very good. During these days in Shuilan village, I got along with Miss Yun for a period of time. Their relationship is very good. 3 years ago, this subject accidentally had a child with Miss Yun." Mu Lianfeng told the Emperor about his situation. It was nothing more than that he had feelings for Zhao Yun and had a child with her. In this life he would only marry Zhao Yun. "Since your relationship is like this, there's no harm in marrying Miss Yun." Hearing this, the emperor sighed with emotion. Your Majesty, this official wants to marry her and has been working hard for this matter. However, this official's status and hers are too far apart in the secular world. If we want to be together, I'm afraid it will be difficult. Previously, this official wanted to ask Your Majesty to grant a marriage. Mu Lianfeng introduced the recent events again. The steel on the mountain was developed by Zhao Yuner, and all the credit went to Zhao Yuner. In summary, the emperor only needed to first give Zhao Yuner a status that could be seen in the secular world. In addition, he would also bestow a marriage between him and Zhao Yuner. When the emperor heard that the steel was made by Zhao Yuner, he couldn't help but sigh with emotion. After learning more about Zhao Yuner, she was even more curious about what kind of woman Zhao Yuner was. Compared to ordinary women, the difference was too big. Even a man would not be able to reach the level of Zhao Yuner. Such a woman was too powerful. If she was a man, she might have done something earth-shattering. The great Zhou country needed this kind of talent. Hearing Mu Lianfeng's words, the emperor pondered in his heart. Betrothing Zhao Yuner to Mu Lianfeng was a matter worth considering. A woman like Zhao Yuner, after marrying a man, would definitely help him and achieve great things for him. So the man that Zhao Yuner helped must be used by him and stand on the same side as him. If he didn't use him, then he would be giving himself a lot of pressure. When the time came, it would be very troublesome to deal with. The emperor didn't immediately reply to Mu Lianfeng's request and was silent for a while. Chapter 1276. Imperial Consort Hua acted on her own initiative and granted you a marriage. Jim will talk about it later. As for your marriage with Miss Yuner, the emperor paused in the middle of his words. Mu Lianfeng's heart was like ants on a hot pan. He was very anxious. However, he had to control himself and not show it too obviously. Your Majesty, this official will only marry Miss Yuner in this life, so I hope to marry Miss Yuner. This official can't ask anyone else, so I can only ask Your Majesty. Miss Yuner is different from other girls. Although she is a young woman from the countryside, she is different from other women. This official doesn't care about those who are well-matched in terms of social status. The emperor shouted, Mu Aiqing, let's talk about this later. You don't have to worry about your marriage with Miss Yuner. I will arrange it in the future. Mu Lianfeng tactfully shut his mouth. He knew that if he said a few more words, he was afraid that he would make the emperor unhappy. After all, the emperor's meaning was very clear. He didn't want to grant him and Zhao Yuner a marriage. The question that Mu Lianfeng was most concerned about was why the emperor did this. His request wasn't too excessive. He just wanted to be with Zhao Yuner. The emperor couldn't even fulfill such a small request? Or did the emperor have some special feelings for Zhao Yuner? The emperor glanced at Mu Lianfeng's reaction and knew that Mu Lianfeng had a lot on his mind. The corners of the emperor's mouth hooked up in an imperceptible smile, and his eyes seemed to be thinking more. Mu Aiqing, let's not talk about this. Let's talk about something else. The emperor smiled and said to Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng's mind was restless as he responded. He continued to chat with the emperor, but the emperor's words didn't reach his heart. After chatting with the emperor for a long time, Mu Lianfeng went back. When he returned to Zhao Yuner's house, it was already evening. Zhao Yuner was cooking at home. She didn't let Mu Lianfeng eat lunch, so she had to make some supplements for him in the evening. Zhao Yuner thought that Mu Lianfeng would have to go to the capital tomorrow, so he probably wouldn't be able to eat the food she made these few days. When Mu Lianfeng returned, he smelled the aroma of food in the kitchen. His heart couldn't help but tremble as a different kind of emotion welled up in his heart. Yuner? Is Yuner? He wondered if she was his. What if the emperor also stopped her? Wouldn't Zhao Yuner stay by her side for the rest of her life without a proper name? Because of this matter, Mu Lianfeng didn't eat and didn't feel very hungry. Now that he smelled the aroma of the food, he suddenly felt hungry. Mu Lianfeng walked into the kitchen. Seeing Mu Lianfeng come back with a calm face, Zhao Yuner knew that Mu Lianfeng had some thoughts. So she asked Mu Lianfeng, what's wrong? Did something happen? Who is that young Master Huang? Zhao Yuner saw how Mu Lianfeng treated young Master Huang today. He was very respectful. Mu Lianfeng's status wasn't low. To be able to make Mu Lianfeng treat him like that, he definitely had a strong background. When asked about this, Mu Lianfeng felt that there wasn't much meaning in hiding it in front of Zhao Yuner, so he said, Yuner, that is the emperor, our great Zhou country's son of heaven. Hearing Mu Lianfeng say this, although Zhao Yuner was a little surprised, she wasn't too shocked. After all, she had guessed that young Master Huang might have this identity, but she ruled it out in the end. So what if he's the son of heaven? Could it be that he is picking on you? Zhao Yuner asked. Chapter 1277. Then why? Zhao Yun'er asked. Our marriage has been discussed with His Majesty, but His Majesty did not agree to it, Mu Lianfeng explained. We were supposed to go to the capital tomorrow, but we don't have to anymore. Zhao Yun'er's eyes twisted when she heard this. Why didn't His Majesty agree? Could it be that His Majesty had something against her and despised her for being a country bumpkin? Did he also think that she wasn't good enough for Mu Lianfeng, or did he have other considerations? Mu Lianfeng shook his head. I don't know. His Majesty's attitude is unpredictable. He didn't explicitly say no, but he didn't agree either. Zhao Yun'er thought for a moment. Why don't I talk to him? She didn't know if it was her imagination, but why did she feel that His Majesty was easy to talk to? In front of her, His Majesty was approachable and treated her as a friend. Since they were friends, it shouldn't be a big deal for her to help out, right? Don't say any more, Yun. I think even if you tell him, His Majesty's attitude will be similar. Let's just wait for now. Zhao Yun'er sighed slightly. Alright then. Mu Lianfeng, you don't have to worry. As long as our hearts are together, no one or anything can separate us. Mu Lianfeng responded solemnly. That night at old Zhao's house, Liang Jinxiao discussed with Zhao Baoshan according to Zhao Yun'er's instructions and then put the mousetrap in the kitchen. Under normal circumstances, no one would go to the kitchen in the middle of the night. The only ones who would go there were definitely thieves. In the middle of the night, old Zhao's family members were all asleep in the room and the courtyard was quiet. This was because Qian Chuanxiu had asked Zhao Wenxue to send some leftovers from the banquet over during the day. Zhao Wenxue didn't want to steal from Qian Chuanxiu, but he didn't want to refuse her. He was afraid that Qian Chuanxiu would look down on him and ignore him, so he agreed. In the middle of the night, after confirming that old Zhao's family members were all asleep, Zhao Wenxue tiptoed out of bed and ran to the kitchen. However, as soon as she entered and opened the cupboard door, she suddenly stepped on the mousetrap in front of the cupboard. Zhao Wenxue grimaced in pain as his ankle was firmly stuck. He let out a squeal like a pig. Zhao Wenshui's voice was very loud. By the time he reacted, it was already too late. The people in old Zhao's courtyard were woken up by Zhao Wenshui's voice and rushed out of the courtyard. Hua Chunhua came out in a floral coat. She frowned and asked, "What's wrong? What happened?" The people in the first branch followed her out. Feng Zhangxia replied, "I don't know, mother. We don't know what happened either. We came out when we heard the sound. Judging from the sound, it sounded like something big had happened." "What's wrong? Did I hear it wrong?" Hua Chunhua muttered. Zhao Wenxue replied, "Mother, you didn't hear it wrong. I heard it too. Otherwise, why would we all come out?" "Then what's wrong?" They screamed so miserably. "Did someone fall into the dung tank?" Hua Chunhua asked in confusion. After Hua Chunhua finished speaking, a trace of fear flashed through the eyes of old Zhao's family members. "Mother, it can't be." Chapter 1278. How disgusting would that be? If they scooped it up, the entire courtyard would probably be filled with the stench. Why wouldn't it be? Otherwise, where would the sound come from? It's fine if you were the only one who heard wrongly, but it can't be that everyone heard wrongly, right? Hua Chunhua replied angrily. Zhao Wenshui's mouth twitched and he could only agree, "Mother, if you put it that way, someone might have really fallen into the manure vat." After saying that, Zhao Wenshui still felt that something was amiss. Why would a scream mean that someone had definitely fallen into the manure vat? What if it was something else? Why did his mother always like to think of such disgusting things? That must be it. There's no one else in the courtyard. What else could have happened? Hua Chunhua grumbled. Then Hua Chunhua instructed Zhao Wenshui, "Boss, hurry up and go take a look at the manure vat. See if anyone fell in. It's still not too late to fish them out now. If we wait, it'll be too late. They'll drown." Zhao Wenshui looked at Hua Chunhua reluctantly and said to her, "Mother, there's no need for that. Why not? Hurry up and go." Hua Chunhua urged. "Mother, why do I have to go? I don't want to go. Let fourth brother go take a look." Zhao Wenshui saw that Zhao Wentao had come out and quickly pushed the responsibility to him. Zhao Wentao's brows instantly knitted together. He had just come out and didn't understand what was going on. Why did he mention her out of the blue? Your fourth brother can't do it. His eyesight isn't good and he can't see at night. What if he accidentally falls into the manure vat later? Hua Chunhua replied unhappily. Seeing Zhao Wenshui's refusal, she was a little unhappy. "Aren't you just going to run an errand? Why are you so hesitant?" Zhao Wenshui looked at Hua Chunhua innocently. He wasn't hesitating. He didn't want to do it anymore. Who would go to the dung tank in the middle of the night to see if someone had fallen in? If there really was one, then he would have to go over and pull her up. The other party was covered in feces. If he defecated, wouldn't his entire body stink? Mother. My eyes aren't too good either. What if I fall too? Mother. You can't just be partial to fourth brother and not me. You're ordering me around for everything. Zhao Wenshi complained in dissatisfaction. Hua Chunhua glared at Zhao Wenshi angrily. You brat, you only know how to compare yourself with your fourth brother. I'm just showing you. What's the big deal? Your eyes are the best in our family. Do you think I'll believe you if you say they're not good? Unable to resist Hua Chunhua's nagging, Zhao Wenshi had no choice but to say, Fine, fine, fine. Mother, I'll go, okay? As Zhao Wenshi spoke, he walked in the direction of the dung tank. He kept praying in his heart that no one would fall in. Otherwise he would be the one to suffer. When he reached the dung tank, he saw that it was empty. There was no one inside. Zhao Wenshi was delighted. He ran back to Hua Chunhua and said to Hua Chunhua, Mother, there's no one inside. There's no one in the dung tank. Hua Chunhua grunted in response and continued to frown. There's no one inside? Why is there no one inside? What's with that noise? It couldn't have made such a loud noise for no reason, right? I don't know, Mother. Maybe it's some cat or dog barking. Zhao Wenshi replied. Chapter 1279. Why not? Zhao Wenshi looked at Hua Chunhua in confusion. Can't you tell if it's a cat, a dog, or a human? Boss, I always said that your eyes are good, but it turns out that your ears are bad? Hua Chunhua said sarcastically. Zhao Wenshi felt that he had been wrongly accused again. He should have kept his mouth shut and not said anything. The more he said, the more mistakes he made. If he made Hua Chunhua unhappy, he would be scolded instead. Mom? I was just saying, what if? It must be a human. Hua Chunhua muttered. She thought for a moment and said, Could it be that a thief broke into our house? Thief? It can't be, right? A thief would definitely be careful. Why wouldn't he come to our house quietly and make such a loud noise? Isn't he deliberately trying to attract our attention? Feng Zhangxia said as she moved closer to Hua Chunhua. Hua Chunhua felt that it was possible. If it was a thief, why would he make such a loud noise? It sounded like a pig being slaughtered. In the countryside, if someone was caught stealing, the villagers would beat the thief to death. Then what's going on? Could it be that there's a ghost? Hua Chunhua had just finished speaking when a gust of cold wind blew in the courtyard. It gave everyone in the courtyard a layer of goosebumps and they couldn't help but shiver. Li Chuiying shrank back and quickly said, Mom, what you said is scary. Could there really be a ghost? The villagers were superstitious. Many of them believed that there were ghosts. Coupled with the gust of cold wind just now, the people in the courtyard felt a chill in their hearts. If there were really ghosts, wouldn't they be doomed? Don't talk nonsense. At this moment, Zhao Baoshan walked out and scolded everyone. If there were ghosts, why would they come to old Zhao's house? Old Zhao's house didn't offend anyone, nor did they do anything wrong. Why would ghosts come to their house? This was a taboo matter. Oh. Li Chuiying pursed his lips and replied. Hua Chunhua frowned and asked Zhao Baoshan, Old man, can you tell me what that sound was? If you're not a ghost, why are you screaming so miserably? Zhao Baoshan snorted. You keep thinking about these things. I think something happened to our family. Everyone came out to see who exactly was missing. Then someone must have gotten into trouble. After listening to Zhao Baoshan's words, old Zhao's family felt that it made sense. They looked at each other and Li Chuiying said, If you didn't mention it today, I wouldn't have known. How did my husband disappear? Second brother isn't here? That's right, father. You weren't in the courtyard and there was no one in the room. Father, did something really happen to Tianyu's father? How can this be? Nothing can happen to Tianyu's father. Li Chuiying muttered worriedly. Zhao Baoshan snorted. He's not here? How could he not be here? Where did he go in the middle of the night? Don't tell me you've done something sneaky? Zhao Baoshan knew that the scream must have come from a thief who entered the kitchen and got caught in a rat trap. Since everyone was here except for Zhao Wenshi, it was obvious that the thief was Zhao Wenshi. Zhao Baoshan was infuriated. The second brother was really too much. Putting aside the fact that he had stolen his family's money the last time, this time, it wasn't enough to teach him a lesson. Now he was stealing his family's food. If this went on, no matter how many things there were in the house, Zhao Wenshi would steal them all. Chapter 1280. Li Chuiying replied unhappily. Wasn't Zhao Baoshan implying that their Wenshi was a thief who stole things and did things like stealing chickens and dogs? No matter what Zhao Wenshui was, he was still her man. Li Chuanying knew that she should protect him. Otherwise she would be embarrassed. What are you talking about? What do you think I'm talking about? Did I say something wrong? It's the middle of the night. Where could second brother have gone? He's sneaking around. If he's not stealing things, then what is he doing? Zhao Baoshan replied unhappily. Well? Li Chuanying thought for a while. She was also puzzled. Where did her man go? What could he be doing out in the middle of the night instead of sleeping? Dad, if the sound just now was second brother's, then he must still be in our house. Let's look around. What if something happened to second brother? Zhao Wenshi quickly suggested. Dad, big brother is right. Let's hurry and look for second brother. Don't let anything happen to him. Zhao Wentao quickly agreed. There was a trace of worry in his eyes. Li Chuanying became even more worried. Zhao Wenshui must not cause any trouble. Zhao Baoshan was silent for a while. Okay, let's go look for him. They would definitely find Zhao Wenshui in the kitchen later. They would see how Zhao Wenshui would embarrass himself then. At this moment, Zhao Wenshui, who was hiding in the kitchen, was scared to death. If these people found him, they would know that he was the one who stole things from their house. His feet were already in pain from being caught in the rat trap. Now that he was nervous, his forehead was covered in cold sweat. He curled up on the ground and prayed that the people outside the yard would not find him. Old Zhao's family members looked around the yard but didn't find Zhao Wenshui. They went to Zhao Baoshan and said to Zhao Baoshan, Father, he's not here. I can't find second younger brother. That's right, father. Could it be that second brother ran outside? I haven't seen him at all. Have you looked in the kitchen? Zhao Baoshan asked in a low voice. I haven't. Father, why are you looking in the kitchen? Why would second brother go to the kitchen for no reason? Zhao Wentao asked, puzzled. That's right, father. Second brother shouldn't be in the kitchen. It's the middle of the night. Who would go to the kitchen for no reason? Zhao Wenshi agreed. Feng Zhangxia's eyes darted around. She caught Zhao Wentao and Zhao Wenshi's words and suddenly thought of something. She said excitedly, Father, second brother went to the kitchen in the middle of the night for no reason. I think he went to steal leftovers. Why did someone steal our leftovers? If second brother is in the kitchen now, then it must be him who stole it. Li Chuanying's face darkened when Feng Zhangxia finished speaking. He scolded Feng Zhangxia, Sister-in-law, what are you talking about? How could Wenshui be in the kitchen? Even if he was in the kitchen, how could you say that he stole the leftovers? Feng Zhangxia snorted softly and said, Second sister-in-law, are you stupid or do you take us for fools? Who would go to the kitchen in the middle of the night for no reason? He must be thinking of stealing the leftovers. Second brother is really capable. Last time he stole money. This time he stole leftovers. Our good things have all been ruined by him. Li Chuanying's face instantly darkened. He pointed at Feng Zhangxia angrily and said, Sister-in-law, you. Chapter 1281. Hua Chunhua couldn't help but say, Second brother's wife, why are you quibbling? If second brother is in the kitchen right now, he must be the thief who stole the leftovers. That's right, mother. Otherwise, why would he enter the kitchen in the middle of the night? He must be up to no good while we're sleeping. Feng Zhangxia hurriedly fanned the flames. What good could it be? Now I know. The next time we lose something in our house, it must be second brother who stole it. A leopard can't change its spots. I didn't learn my lesson last time. This time I'll catch him and teach him a lesson. Let's see if he dares to do it again next time. Hua Chunhua was cursing and swearing. Spittle was flying from her mouth, which made people feel disgusted. Zhao Baoshan frowned and urged them, That's enough. Why are you quarreling? Hurry up and go to the kitchen to see if second brother is in the room. Hearing Zhao Baoshan's words, Zhao Wenshi and Zhao Wentao walked into the kitchen. They pushed open the kitchen door and saw Zhao Wenshui sitting on the ground. His ankle was tightly clamped by a mouse clamp. Moreover, his ankle was bleeding. It was very scary and the wound looked very deep. Last time, Zhao Xinhui had almost broken his ankle. Now Zhao Wenshui was repeating the same mistake. Father, second brother is in the kitchen. Zhao Wenshi shouted. After hearing Zhao Wenshi's voice, the other members of old Zhao's family hurried over and looked at Zhao Wenshui in the kitchen. Second brother is really in the kitchen. Second brother, what are you doing in the kitchen? Are you here to steal something? Did you steal our leftovers? Feng Zhangxia hurriedly questioned and led the topic to that. Yes, Lao Heir, you better give me an explanation. Why did you come to my house? Hua Chunhua asked angrily. Steal? Steal what? Mother, I'm not here to steal. Zhao Wenshui said hurriedly. Naturally, he didn't want to admit his dirty behavior. How embarrassing would it be to accuse him of stealing in front of his family? Second brother, then tell me, if you're not here to steal, why did you come to the kitchen? Feng Zhangxia continued to ask. Zhao Wenshui hesitated. Mom, I'm just here to get some water to drink. Can't I drink water? I'm dying of thirst. Who knew that I would be caught by a rat trap as soon as I came in? After Zhao Wenshui finished speaking, Zhao Baoshan and Hua Chunhua both frowned. They felt that what Zhao Wenshui said was not unreasonable. When she was thirsty, it was understandable to go to the kitchen to get some water to drink. However, they didn't know if Zhao Wenshui's words could be trusted. In their hearts, they still felt that Zhao Wenshui came in the middle of the night to steal something. After hearing Zhao Wenshui's explanation, Feng Zhangxia's eyes turned and looked into the kitchen, hoping to find some clues. Suddenly, she saw the cabinet open. Feng Zhangxia's eyes lit up and she said to Zhao Wenshui, Second brother, you said you were here to drink water. Why did you open the cabinet? The water tank is over here. If you want to drink water, go to the tank. After Feng Zhangxia finished speaking, old Zhao's family looked at Zhao Wenshui suspiciously. Chapter 1282. That's right. Second brother, you said you came in to drink water. How could it be possible that you came in to drink water? Why did you come to the cupboard to drink water and even open the cupboard door? Hua Chunhua asked Zhao Wenshui with a heavy gaze. Zhao Wenshui's heart suddenly tightened. When he met Hua Chunhua's questioning gaze, he was so nervous that he didn't know what to say. Mother. Zhao Baoshan snorted softly and said, Do you still need to ask? It's obvious that he came in to steal vegetables. That's right, father. Second brother obviously came in to steal vegetables. Father, we have to ask second brother to give an explanation. We can't just let it go like this. Feng Zhangxia muttered. If they made a fuss about this matter, they might be able to find an excuse to separate from the family. Zhao Wenshui sat on the ground with an aggrieved look on his face. All he did was steal vegetables. There were a lot of vegetables at home, so it wasn't a big deal. It was fine if his family caught him stealing, but the problem was that his feet were clamped and he couldn't move. It hurt so much. However, his family didn't care about his life at all. They only cared about him stealing vegetables. Why did I raise such a black-hearted son? This is too much. He steals everything. Not only does he steal things, but he also steals from his own family. It's hard to guard against a thief in the family. Why did such a big thief come into our family? If he doesn't give me an explanation today, I'll chop off his hand. Hua Chunhua said angrily as she spat on Zhao Wenshui's face. Zhao Wenshui reached out and touched Hua Chunhua's saliva on his face. He felt disgusted, but he didn't know how to scold Hua Chunhua. Mother, can you not be like this? Let's talk nicely. Why did you spit on my face? It's so disgusting. Zhao Wenshui complained unhappily. Hua Chunhua became even angrier. You still have the nerve to say that? You brat, I definitely haven't taught you enough. Hua Chunhua scolded. She waved her hand and slapped Zhao Wenshui hard a few times. Mother, it hurts so much. Zhao Wenshui cried out in pain. It was already painful enough. Now, after being hit by Hua Chunhua, it was even more painful. His feet hurt and his body hurt. He felt like he was about to die. All right. Stop yelling. Let Lao Er explain himself. Why did he steal the vegetables? Zhao Baoshan frowned and said seriously to Zhao Wenshui. Zhao Wenshui shrunk his neck, not knowing what to say. If he told the truth and said that he stole for Chen Chuanxiu, he would be scolded to death by his family. Most importantly, if Li Chuiying found out, she would definitely make a fuss. He wouldn't be able to deal with it. If the villagers found out about his relationship with Chen Chuanxiu, they would probably drown him in their saliva. Father. Zhao Wenshui hesitated. His words were stuck in his throat. He didn't know how to say it. What's wrong with you? Why aren't you talking? Father. I just want to eat more. It's nothing. I woke up in the middle of the night and suddenly felt hungry, so I ran to the kitchen to find something to eat. Can I eat my own food? How did I become a thief? After Zhao Wenshui finished speaking, Hua Chunhua looked at Zhao Wenshui with disappointment. I say, Lao Er, you're really good. Chapter 1283. After being reprimanded by Hua Chunhua, Zhao Wenshui blushed. Mother, don't you think I'm being too serious? I'm a man. It's normal for me to eat more when I work during the day. I'm indeed hungry at this time of the night. I'm not a woman. I can't do so much heavy work every day. I don't feel hungry. Zhao Wenshui pursed his lips and quibbled. Hua Chunhua snorted coldly. You're good at quibbling. I don't usually see you doing much work. Now you're talking about how much work you've done. Mother? Feng Zhangxia didn't mind blowing things up and added, Mother, how can second brother be like this? Who isn't hungry in the middle of the night? Aren't we all enduring it? Only second brother ran out to the kitchen to get something to eat. If everyone in our family is like this, we'll be able to finish all the food. When Hua Chunhua heard Feng Zhangxia's words, she loudly reprimanded, That's right. If there's some leftovers, they can eat them sparingly. They can still eat for a few more days. This black-hearted second brother secretly ate so much. Isn't he afraid of dying from overeating? If everyone secretly eats like this, how can our family eat? Hua Chunhua's face was cold. The more she looked at Zhao Wenshui, the angrier she became. Even Zhao Wentao, who didn't speak much, couldn't help but say, Second brother, if you're hungry in the middle of the night, go back to sleep. Just endure it. How can you get up in the middle of the night and eat so much? When Li Chuiying saw that her man was being bombarded, she stepped forward to defend Zhao Wenshui. You can't say that, right? My Wenshui is hungry. Why can't he eat something? It's not a big deal. If he's full at night, he can eat less during the day, right? Otherwise, if he's hungry, he'll have to eat more during the day. It's about the same. Second sister-in-law really knows how to protect second brother. Feng Zhangxia said in a strange tone. Hua Chunhua was not so polite. She scolded Li Chuiying, My second daughter-in-law is so full of nonsense. If everyone in our family is like this, how can we live like this? Father, mother, second brother's behavior is too serious. You have to make a statement and deal with it properly. Otherwise, it will be too unfair to the other branches. Last time, second brother had already stolen 3 taels of silver, and now he was here to steal food. I wonder how many of these things have been done behind the scenes. We can't let second brother take all the benefits of our family, can we? After Feng Zhangxia finished speaking, all the members of old Zhao's family became silent. When Feng Zhangxia saw that Zhao Baoshan and Hua Chunhua did not say anything, she hurriedly poked Zhao Wenshi, asking him to say a few words as well. In any case, this matter could not be let go so easily. That's right, father, mother. Second brother has done this, so he has to say something. We can't let the other branches suffer losses. Otherwise, everyone will feel uncomfortable. Zhao Baoshan frowned and asked the first branch, Then tell me, what should we do about this matter? Feng Zhangxia hesitated for a moment. After thinking about it, she decided to say it directly, Father, mother, I think it's not interesting for us to live together like this. We've all formed our own families and our children have grown up. There's no need for us to live together. Chapter 1284. Feng Zhangxia felt that there was nothing to offend now. If she didn't seize this opportunity to separate, she didn't know when she would be able to do so. Zhao Baoshan and Hua Chunhua's faces darkened when they heard Feng Zhangxia's words. Eldest daughter-in-law, what are you talking about? Separate? Your father and I are still here, and all we can think about is to separate. If this gets out, won't our old Zhao family die of laughter? Hua Chunhua scolded unhappily. Mother, you can't say that. If it wasn't for the fact that second brother often did these kinds of sneaky things, who would want to separate from the family? If you want to blame someone, you have to blame second brother. Originally, our family was living in harmony. Now that he's stirring things up, we can't live together. It's better to separate and save us so much trouble. Feng Zhangxia defended herself. After she finished speaking, she nudged Zhao Wenshi beside her, asking Zhao Wenshi to speak up for her. Father, mother, Tianlong's mother is right. We have our own families now. There are many people in the village who want to separate early. Second brother doesn't usually do much work and he keeps stealing things from our family. It's impossible that I don't have any objections. If we live together, there will be a lot of conflicts. No matter what second brother does, it has nothing to do with us. Naturally, we don't have any objections. Hua Chunhua frowned when she heard Zhao Wenshui's words. She didn't say anything, but she was brewing in her heart. In the end, it was all because of this good-for-nothing second brother. Otherwise, the eldest branch wouldn't have a reason to criticize them. Li Chuiying snorted softly and said to Hua Chunhua, Father, mother, if eldest brother and sister-in-law want to separate and don't want to live with us, we don't want to live with them either. Seriously? Didn't they just steal some money? How much are these things worth when added together? What about the eldest branch? You're getting married and studying. Our old Zhao family has been doing everything for you and your branch all these years. How can I say that I have a problem with that? Hearing Li Chuiying's words, the first branch was furious. Second sister-in-law, what are you talking about? The money my family spends is for proper use. Look at second brother, what he does is not proper. How can it be the same? How is it different? Wasn't it all about money? Eldest sister-in-law, you're really interesting. You're still pretending to be innocent after you've taken advantage of her. In the past you didn't want to split up. Now that your family is doing well, you're clamoring to split up. Isn't this bullying? After Li Chuiying finished speaking, Feng Zhangxia's face immediately turned red. Sister-in-law, you. Li Chuiying also crossed his arms and continued to scold. Sister-in-law, it's not that we can't split the family assets, but at least be fair. Our old Zhao family has contributed a lot to your branch. When we split from the family, shouldn't our second and fourth branches get more? Why should you get more? It's already good enough that our fourth branch gets more. How can your second branch have the nerve to ask for more? Didn't you say that second brother stole things? That won't do. Our second branch can get less than our fourth branch, but we can get more than your eldest branch. You? Zhao Baoshan frowned as she watched the two branches quarrel. She was somewhat unhappy. As an elder, she naturally felt sad that her family had ended up like this. Chapter 1285. Li Chuiying said hurriedly, Father, you can't be partial. Eldest brother and eldest sister-in-law's family have benefited a lot over the years. You can't let them benefit even if we split up now, right? Otherwise our second branch can't live on. Feng Zhangxia didn't want to be left behind. She said in front of Zhao Baoshan, Father, second brother did something sneaky. You can't give the second branch too much. Although our first branch has spent a lot of money, it's for the honor of old Zhao's family, not for anything else. Although Sky Dragon's studies cost a little more, but when he passes the imperial examinations, he will be able to bring honor to his ancestors. Shut up. I know how to distribute it. Do I need you to tell me? Zhao Baoshan reprimanded. Feng Zhangxia and Li Chuiying didn't know what to say, so they shut up. Zhao Baoshan thought for a while. What the first branch and the second branch said was reasonable. Therefore, when it came to splitting up, the two branches should give about the same amount. The fourth branch was the most important. The fourth branch could get more. Zhao Baoshan counted the fields in the house. The fields that each branch got were about the same. Zhao Baoshan and Hua Chunhua kept some fields for themselves. As for money, the fourth branch got more, so the first branch and the second branch got the same amount. Although the first branch and the second branch had different opinions about the distribution, they agreed in the end for the sake of splitting up. It didn't matter how much they got now. The most important thing was to divide up the family. Hua Chunhua was the one who was most dissatisfied with the separation. If the whole family was together, the amount of money they earned would have to be handed over to her. Now that they were splitting up, the money in the other branch's hands would be in their own hands. They wouldn't give it to her. Thinking of this, Hua Chunhua felt sad. Old man, can't we not split up? Why do we have to split up? Really? Hua Chunhua said to Zhao Baoshan. She was unhappy. Then what do you think we should do? How should he deal with today's matter? If people's hearts are not together, it's useless to force them to be together. That's not it either. I think that if we split up, old Zhao's life will be even more difficult. We still don't know if these children are filial or not. If they aren't filial, no one will take care of us when we're old. Hua Chunhua curled her lips and muttered to Zhao Baoshan. Zhao Baoshan glared at Hua Chunhua. You think too much. We'll talk about the future when the time comes. They can do whatever they want. Let them be. Hua Chunhua saw that Zhao Baoshan was unhappy. It seemed that she did not want to dwell on this topic, so she quickly shut her mouth. Otherwise, Zhao Benshan would scold her. After struggling for half a night, the separation of old Zhao's family was finally settled. The other branches were satisfied with this result. Although the fourth branch did not say that they wanted to split up, they still had this thought in their hearts. After all, the fourth branch was at a disadvantage in old Zhao's family. They did more work than the other branches, so they didn't get many benefits. After the separation, everyone found that Zhao Wenxue, whose ankle was pinched, had fainted from the pain. Li Chuiying rushed to Zhao Wenxue and said to Zhao Wenxue, Tianyu's father, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? Why aren't you talking? Chapter 1286. Li Chuiying's heart tightened and she hurriedly said, Father, it might be true. Tianyu's father must have fainted from the pain. What should we do? Nothing must happen to Tianyu's father. Zhao Baoshan's brows were still furrowed. He deserves it even if he dies from the pain. Who told him to come to the kitchen in the middle of the night to steal things? The rat trap was placed there on purpose to catch the thief. Li Chuanying looked at Zhao Baoshan with hidden bitterness. Father, you can't say that. Tianyu's father shouldn't have eaten our family's food. Tianyu's father's leg is more important. Otherwise it would be bad if he became a cripple in the future. Zhao Baoshan snorted softly and instructed Zhao Wenshi and Zhao Wentao, send second brother to the second branch's room first. We'll find a doctor to take a look at him tomorrow. Li Chuanying's heart ached at the thought of having to spend money to find a doctor. Now that they had separated from the family, they could not spend old Zhao's money. They could only spend the second branch's money. This time, Zhao Wenshui's medical expenses would probably be at least half of it. Fortunately, Zhao Jing'er was about to get married. When the time came, they could make up for the dowry money. Otherwise, they would not be able to live on. The third branch, who had been silent all this time, finally spoke up. Liang Jinxiao walked up to Hua Chunhua and said to her, Mother, now that the matter has been clarified, it's fine. Our third branch won't steal anything. In the future, don't blame us for anything. Otherwise, if we don't find evidence, we won't be able to clear our name. Hua Chunhua was a little embarrassed, but she could not admit her mistake. She could only force a smile and say, who knew that second brother would never change and would steal things from his family again? Otherwise he wouldn't have blamed the third branch. Mother, I don't mean anything else. I just hope that if anything happens in the future, we'll figure it out first. Otherwise it'll be easy for us to take the blame for others. It's the same for everyone. Hua Chunhua replied impatiently, I know. Third daughter-in-law, you should go back to your room and rest. What's the point of saying so much? Well, mother, then I'll go back to my room to rest first. Liang Jinxiao was also too lazy to say more and walked into the room of the third branch. Hua Chunhua had already made herself clear. It was fine as long as she understood it in her heart. Thinking about what happened tonight, Liang Jinxiao could not help but admire Zhao Yun'er. If it weren't for Zhao Yun'er, she probably wouldn't have caught Zhao Wenshui stealing tonight. She would probably still be suspected. However, what they didn't expect was that old Zhao's family would split up. Just thinking about it made him feel a little incredulous. Both Zhao Baoshan and Hua Chunhua had reacted strongly to the idea of splitting the family assets on the premise that they would never agree to it. How could they agree to it so easily? She wondered if it was because the third branch had already been separated from the main branch. The next day, Liang Jinxiao told Zhao Yun'er about what happened that night. Zhao Yun'er was also a little shocked. If they were talking about splitting up, it was good that they did it. The fourth branch couldn't take advantage of living together with the first and second branches. Her fifth uncle, Zhao Wenxing, spoke too early. He said that they wouldn't get anything if they split up. This time, old Zhao's family really didn't give the fifth branch anything. Otherwise, the fifth branch could also get a lot of things. When Zhao Yun'er arrived at old Zhao's house, the people of old Zhao's family were moving things. After distributing the things, they moved back to their rooms. Chapter 1287. When Zhao Yun'er saw this, she stepped forward and asked, Fourth uncle, do you want me to help you? No need. Zhao Wentao smiled and refused, Actually, there's nothing else to do. It's almost done. The things that should be moved have already been moved. There's nothing else to move. It's just some small things that are easy to carry. Zhao Yun'er didn't know if Zhao Wentao was declining or if he really meant it. Zhao Yun'er was too embarrassed to insist, so she could only say, All right then, fourth uncle. If you're tired, you can rest for a while. Don't tire yourself out. Seeing that Zhao Yun'er was concerned about him, he felt touched. Got it, Yun'er. Don't worry. Fourth uncle knows whether he's tired or not. That's fine. Zhao Yun'er nodded. At this time, Li Chuanying, who was moving things in the courtyard, heard the conversation between Zhao Yun'er and Zhao Wentao. She hurriedly said to Zhao Yun'er, Girl Yun'er, if you're so filial, then help your second aunt move some things. Your second uncle's foot was injured by a mouse trap. He can't even walk now. How can your second aunt move so many things by herself? Zhao Yun'er laughed coldly and stared at Li Chuanying. She didn't know how Li Chuanying had the nerve to say such a thing. Second aunt, why do you want me to help? It's not like there's no one in your house. What can't you move? You and cousin Jing''er can work together and take it slow. If you can't move it in one go, then you can do it a few more times. After Zhao Yun'er finished speaking, Li Chuanying's expression instantly became very ugly. This wretched girl only cared about the fourth branch and didn't like the second branch. Speaking of which, weren't they all this girl's elders? Why should she treat them differently? She was too much. Li Chuanying said sarcastically, What a stingy person. I've never seen such a person before. Wretched girl, you're so picky. It seems like you don't care about your second uncle and second aunt. Seeing that Li Chuanying was about to make a scene, Zhao Wentao was afraid that Li Chuanying and Zhao Yun'er would argue, so he said to Li Chuanying, second sister-in-law, don't let Yun'er help you. It's fine. If there's anything you can't move, call me and I'll help you move it. Li Chuanying's expression returned to normal. She smiled at Zhao Wentao and said, hee, fourth brother, you are still the best. It's my duty, second sister-in-law. Second brother's foot is injured, so there's no other way. He'll probably be busy at home these days, so please bear with him as much as you can. There's no need to be so calculative. Hearing Zhao Wentao's words, Li Chuanying chuckled and replied, yes. Fourth brother, your words are so nice. It would be great if everyone in our family could be like you. Zhao Yun'er stood to the side. Seeing Li Chuanying, she couldn't help but roll her eyes. Her fourth uncle was really a good person. However, Zhao Wentao treated all his brothers like this. Zhao Yun'er didn't have much to say. She only hoped that Zhao Wentao would be more considerate sometimes. Otherwise, if he was too nice, he would be bullied. Li Chuanying stared at Zhao Wentao and thought for a while. Then he said to Zhao Wentao, fourth brother, now that our family is separated, the other branches don't have a kitchen. We have to build a shed for our own kitchen. If you have nothing to do, when you build a wooden shed for your own family, you can build one for my family. Chapter 1288. Since Li Chuanying had already spoken, Zhao Wentao couldn't say no. It was true that his second brother's leg was injured and it was inconvenient for him. Every man in the second branch had to rely on 2 women and 1 child. What could they do? Just as Zhao Wentao was about to nod and agree, Zhao Yun'er couldn't help but say, second aunt, you really choose honest people when you want to take advantage of others. It's already good enough that fifth uncle helped you move things, but you still want him to help you build a shed. How can you ask for that? After Zhao Yun'er finished speaking, Li Chuanying glared at Zhao Yun'er with a reddened face and said, last Yun'er, your mouth is really cheap. Your fourth uncle didn't say anything. What did you say? Zhao Yun'er pursed her lips and said, I just can't stand it. Fourth uncle is an honest person. He can't be bullied too much by you. After Zhao Yun'er finished speaking, she winked at Zhao Wentao. Originally, Zhao Wentao was embarrassed to refuse. However, after hearing Zhao Yun'er's words, Zhao Wentao said to Li Chuanying, second sister-in-law, why don't you and mother use the same kitchen first? When second brother's leg recovers, we can ask him to build a wooden shed. Li Chuanying was immediately unhappy. She frowned and said with difficulty, this? Fourth brother, you know that your second brother can't do it? Why can't he do it? Your second brother is clumsy. How can he do it well? I don't think he can build a wooden shed. Second sister-in-law, it's okay if he can't build it. When the time comes, if second brother has any problems, just ask me. I will tell second brother. If he can't do it, I will help second brother and follow behind to help. He will definitely be able to do it. After hearing Zhao Wentao's words, Li Chuanying was too embarrassed to say anything more. She could only say, okay then, fourth brother. You said it. When we build a wooden shed, you have to help. Don't worry, second sister-in-law. I definitely will. Okay. Li Chuanying agreed reluctantly. Before she left, she glared fiercely at Zhao Yun'er as if she was blaming Zhao Yun'er for meddling in other people's business. It was originally fine, but it was ruined by Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er curled her lips, and a smile appeared on the corner of her mouth. She was too lazy to pay attention to Li Chuanying. After Li turned to leave, Zhao Wentao's, Zhao Yun's, Zhao's, Zhao Yun'er saw Zhao Wentao sighing and asked, fourth uncle, why are you sighing? Zhao Wentao twitched his mouth and smiled at Zhao Yun'er. Actually, your second aunt is also a pitiful person. She is she? Uncles too, is Yun's titulas why? To her is, your second uncle? Zhao Wentao suddenly stopped talking. He felt that it wasn't appropriate to mention this in front of Zhao Yun'er, so he gave up and didn't say anything else. Zhao Yun'er was a little anxious. What's wrong with fourth uncle? Nothing. You're still young. There are some things you don't understand. Your second uncle doesn't treat your second aunt very well. As for the rest of us, we should help your second aunt as much as we can to make up for it. After Zhao Wentao said this, he didn't seem to want to talk about it anymore and changed the topic. Zhao Yun'er found it even more strange. Zhao Wentao obviously had a hidden meaning in his words, but he didn't say it out loud. It really made her anxious. Chapter 1289. As the saying goes, paper can't wrap fire. Someone will find out the truth one day. When Zhao Wenshui secretly went to see Chen Chuanxiu, Zhao Wentao happened to see him. Zhao Wentao knew that it was a shameful thing, so he couldn't tell others. If he told others, it would not only embarrass old Zhao's family, but also embarrass Zhao Wenshui. People in the village might gossip and ruin the reputation of old Zhao's family. In addition, he was afraid that Li Chuanying would be so angry that he would fight with Zhao Wenshui. At that time, old Zhao's family might be in trouble. For the sake of the harmony of old Zhao's family, this matter had to be kept a secret. Li Chuanying couldn't know about it. However, because Zhao Wentao knew that Zhao Wenshui had an affair with another woman, he felt that Zhao Wenshui had wronged Li Chuanying and felt guilty towards Li Chuanying. Zhao Wenshui couldn't treat Li Chuanying well. As his younger brother, he naturally had to make up for it. Fourth uncle, now that we've separated from the family, what do you and sister-in-law plan to do? Zhao Yun'er asked. Speaking of this, Zhao Wentao and Chen Hongzhao really hadn't thought about it. Zhao Wentao still went to the mountains to mine from time to time. Although he couldn't make a lot of money, he could at least make his family hungry. In addition, after they separated from the family, they were given some fields. These fields could be used to grow food and they could also gain some harvest. As long as they were diligent, their lives might be better than when they didn't separate from the family. How can we plan to do anything? Just like everyone else, we'll live our lives as we should. Zhao Yun'er smiled and said, Fourth uncle, now that we have separated from the family, do you and fourth sister-in-law plan to let cousin Tianqi go to school? Like cousin Tianlong, he will be able to pass the imperial examinations and become outstanding? Zhao Tianqi, who Zhao Yun'er mentioned, was Zhao Wentao and Chen Hongzhao's son. He was 7 years old this year, 1 year younger than Zhao Tianfu. She was at the right age to go to school. In the past, even if Zhao Wentao and Chen Hongzhao wanted to study for Zhao Tianqi, they probably wouldn't be able to. After all, other than Zhao Tianqi, old Zhao's family had a lot of descendants. All of them were studying and there was no money to support them. If he read it to one of them, the other descendants would definitely read it as well. Otherwise, it would be unfair and make them feel uncomfortable. Hearing Zhao Yun'er's words, Zhao Wentao was slightly taken aback. In the past, he didn't dare to think about this. After all, he felt that it was impossible. Although in his heart he felt that studying was good. Children would only have the opportunity to bring glory to their ancestors if they studied. However, the conditions were there. It was not as if they could study just because they wanted to. Fourth uncle, I think it's better for the child to study more. Why don't you discuss it with fourth aunt and see if Tianqi can study? Zhao Yun'er couldn't help but suggest. If it was the 21st century, most children would be able to read and write. If they studied, they might not become illiterate, but at least they would be more cultured. Zhao Yun'er couldn't stand the weirdos in the village. With quality education, it would be much better. What Zhao Yun'er said was not only about the matter of scholarly honors. Zhao Wentao thought for a moment. Hey Yun'er, I also want to study for Tianqi, but it costs a lot to study for a year. Fourth uncle is not capable and may not be able to afford it. Chapter 1290. After hearing Zhao Yun'er's words, Zhao Wentao couldn't help but be curious. Yun'er, what kind of work will your family have to do in the future? Will it be for a while? Or can it continue for a long time? Zhao Wentao was mainly worried about this. He was now mining iron on the mountain and could earn dozens of copper coins a day. In a month he could earn more than 1 tael of silver. Of course, this was taking into account. After all, he didn't have work to do every day. In addition, he didn't know how long he could mine. Might be half a year or a year. If he could earn money to support Zhao Tianqi's studies in this half a year or a year, where would he earn the money in the future? Therefore, he had to make money for a long time. It was not a matter of half a year or a year. It had to be stable for at least 5 to 6 years or 7 to 8 years. Zhao Yun'er smiled. Don't worry, fourth uncle. My family's work can be done for a long time. I guarantee that you can earn enough for cousin Tianqi's tuition in a year. With Zhao Yun'er's words, Zhao Wentao was indeed relieved. He might not believe what others said, but he believed what Zhao Yun'er said. After all, Zhao Yun'er had never talked nonsense. She said 1, it was 1. He said 2, it was 2. Yun'er, can you tell me what kind of work your family is going to do? It takes so much time. Zhao Yun'er explained. Zhao Wentao still didn't understand half of it, but he had a general understanding. With a stable income, Zhao Wentao thought that it was indeed good to teach Zhao Tianqi. He didn't expect Zhao Tianqi to be like Zhao Tianlong. He only wanted Zhao Tianqi to be like Zhao Wenxing in the future. It was always easier to teach than to work in the fields. Furthermore, scholars were respected by the masses. He suffered because he didn't study. His son couldn't follow in his footsteps. After chatting with Zhao Wentao for a while, Zhao Wentao had almost moved everything that needed to be moved. After old Zhao's family split, many things had to be redistributed. It didn't seem much, but it was a little difficult to move them. After working for the whole morning, they were finally done. From today onwards, old Zhao's family would live their own lives. There was only one kitchen in old Zhao's house. Now that they had separated, the original kitchen was reserved for Zhao Baoshan and Huo Chunhua. Before the other families finished building their own kitchens, they could borrow them for a while, but after a while they wouldn't be allowed to use them anymore. Now that they were eating separately, cooking was the most troublesome thing. There was only one pot, so everyone had to line up to cook it. They couldn't squeeze together. Eldest sister-in-law, let me come down and cook. Our Wenshui and Tianyu are both hungry. The sooner it's cooked, the sooner we can give it to them to eat. You wait first. When my family is ready, you can use it. Li Chuanying went to the kitchen and saw that Feng Zhangxiao wanted to start a fire to cook. She quickly stopped her. Feng Zhangxiao was a little unhappy. She retorted to Li Chuanying, why should I let your family cook first? Our Yang is hungry too. He's still a child, so his stomach can't take it. When he's hungry, he has to eat. Your Tianyu is already grown up. Second brother is really a grown-up. It's okay to bear with it, so let our family cook first and eat first. You. Li Chuanying glared at Feng Zhangxia angrily. He couldn't win an argument with his sister-in-law and was always bullied. In the past, Huo Chunhua was biased towards Feng Zhangxia. Now that they had separated, Li Chuanying felt that he shouldn't give in to Feng Zhangxia anymore. Chapter 1291. Li Chuanying looked at Feng Zhangxia unhappily. Feng Zhangxia frowned and argued with Li Chuanying. Who said that you can cook when the dishes are ready? I came to the kitchen first, so I have to cook first. Sister-in-law, how can you bully us like this? Why should the second branch give in to the first branch? Today the second branch has to cook first. That won't do. Second sister-in-law, I can't give in to you. You can't spoil my Yang. Can you bear the responsibility for my precious grandson? Li Chuanying put her hands on her hips and was infuriated by Feng Zhangxia. Humph, you call your Yang darling. So what if my Tianyu is hungry? You're so selfish. The two of them went back and forth and almost started a fight in the kitchen. Huo Chunhua heard the quarrel in the room and rushed in angrily. Quarrel, all you know how to do is quarrel. Quarreling every day when there's something going on. Hurry up and shut up, or else my wife will take a needle and sew up your mouths one by one. Huo Chunhua's fierce tone and eyes frightened Li Chuanying and Feng Zhangxia. Mother. I didn't want to quarrel, but sister-in-law insisted on occupying the pot to cook first. Look, I've already prepared the dishes, so I'll definitely cook faster than her. What's wrong with letting me cook first? Li Chuanying complained in front of Huo Chunhua, feeling wronged. Feng Zhangxia was unwilling to be left behind. Mother, my Yang is hungry. What's wrong with me cooking first? Tianyu is a big boy and can withstand hunger, but Yang is still young and can't withstand hunger. Mother? Huo Chunhua was confused by Li Chuanying and Feng Zhangxia's quarrel. Shut up, both of you shut up. You can even quarrel over cooking. I really admire the two of you. Every day you talk about trivial matters. Aren't you afraid of embarrassing yourself if word gets out? There's only one kitchen and I'm the one who cooks first. Since when did it become your turn? In a few days all of you will have to make your own kitchen. Don't squeeze together. It's inconvenient. When I'm done today, the first branch will use it first and the second branch will use it later. Tomorrow it'll be your turn. You can have one day first. Since Huo Chunhua said so, Li Chuanying and Feng Zhangxia couldn't say anything more. Taking turns like this was considered very fair. If they said anything else, Huo Chunhua would probably scold them again. Mother. All right then. Then my sister-in-law will go first. My family will go first tomorrow. Li Chuanying replied. Huo Chunhua responded faintly. Then she began to cook. Liang Jinxiao heard the noise in the kitchen of old Zhao's house. Old Zhao's family members were taking turns. The fourth branch was the last to eat today. If they wanted to eat, they didn't know how long they would have to wait. Thus, Liang Jinxiao discussed with Zhao Yun, let's cook 2 more dishes. Today we can ask your fourth uncle and fourth aunt to come over to eat together so that they don't have to wait in line to cook. Tomorrow or the day after they can build their own kitchen so that they don't have to squeeze into one kitchen to cook. Zhao Yun naturally had no objections. She nodded and said, Okay mother. Let fourth uncle and the others come over to eat. Go and tell them so that they don't have to cook by themselves. Okay, mother will go now. Liang Jinxiao said and went to find Zhao Wentao and Chen Hongzhao. At first, Zhao Wentao and Chen Hongzhao were embarrassed, but they couldn't resist Liang Jinxiao's enthusiasm and had to agree. Chapter 1292. Liang Jinxiao smiled and said, "It's no trouble at all. Just ask Yuner to cook a few more dishes. It's not like we eat every day, so it doesn't matter if we eat 1 or 2 meals. Third sister-in-law will still have to trouble you. Haha, fourth brother, fourth sister-in-law, you're too polite. It'll be more convenient when your own kitchen is ready. It's not convenient to have one kitchen to cook now." Yes. Third sister-in-law, you're right. We'll be busy building the wooden shed in the afternoon. Tomorrow we'll go to the blacksmith to custom make a pot. The kitchen will be ready in less than 2 days. That's good. Liang Jinxiao laughed heartily. Li Chuiying felt a little uncomfortable when she saw that Liang Jinxiao invited the fourth branch to eat but not the second branch. Without feeling embarrassed, Li Chuiying went directly to Liang Jinxiao and said to Liang Jinxiao, "Third sister-in-law, since it's not troublesome for your family, why don't you let the second branch eat with you? Anyway, it's just a matter of adding a few more pairs of chopsticks. You invited fourth brother and fourth sister-in-law, but you can't not invite me and your second brother, right?" Liang Jinxiao's mouth twitched and he didn't know how to refuse. When Zhao Yuner heard Li Chuiying's words, she came out of the kitchen and said with a fake smile, "Second aunt, you really know how to compare yourself with others. When fourth uncle and fourth aunt help us with the chores, why don't I see you and second uncle coming over to help? You don't know how to do the chores, but you know how to come over to eat. How interesting." Li Chuiying immediately cowered when she saw Zhao Yuner. She argued back, "Your family didn't ask my family to do the chores. If you asked, we might have helped." Zhao Yuner sneered. She really didn't know how to deal with thick-skinned people. "Second aunt, why don't you know how to do the chores if we don't ask you to? You know how to come over when we don't ask you to eat. This ability is really great. You?" Li Chuiying angrily glared at Zhao Yuner. "Third sister-in-law, look at your good daughter. How is she speaking to her elders?" Liang Jinxiao said helplessly, "Second sister-in-law, I don't think there's anything wrong with what Yuner said. It's true, you?" Li Chuiying was angered by Zhao Yuner and Liang Jinxiao. Originally he wanted Liang Jinxiao to apologize to her, but his third sister-in-law had changed a lot. She didn't follow his words at all. "If you don't want to eat, so be it. Just you wait. Just wait until my family has delicious food. I'll make you guys drool." After Li Chuiying finished speaking, he angrily turned around and left. Zhao Yuner was even more disinclined to pay attention to people like Li Chuiying. It was good to send him away. It was really annoying to hang around in front of him. "Fourth uncle, fourth aunt, please go inside and have a seat. I'll cook 2 more dishes. It'll be ready in a while," Zhao Yuner said. Zhao Wentao and Chen Hongzhao both responded, "Okay, Yuner girl. Thank you for your hard work." With that, the 2 of them didn't stand on ceremony and went into the third branch's room. In old Zhao's kitchen, only Hua Chunhua and Zhao Baoshan were eating because they had separated from the main family. Hua Chunhua casually cooked 2 dishes. If she cooked too many dishes, she wouldn't be able to finish them all. Now that the whole family wasn't eating together, Hua Chunhua was very generous. She took out all the good things in the room and fried a plate of bacon and a plate of vegetables. Chapter 1293. Previously he was reluctant to eat it because 20 caddies of bacon was not much. Good things should be eaten slowly. He could not finish it all at once. Moreover, he could save some dishes for the banquet, so there was no need to cook it. After eating for a few days, the leftovers were almost finished. Hua Chunhua left some meat for lunch, and the rest of the vegetables were distributed to the other members of her family. Now he was going to make some salted meat so that he could have a taste. Since they weren't a big family, they didn't need to fight for food. Especially without Zhao Wenshui, if they hadn't split up, Zhao Wenshui would have been able to eat half of it. Now that she made a plate of bacon, she and Zhao Baoshan could eat it slowly. A plate of bacon could last them for 3 days. Zhao Baoshan needed a side dish to go with drinking, and the bacon was just right. After Hua Chunhua heated up the leftover meat broth from the banquet, the entire kitchen was filled with a strong aroma. The most fragrant of all was the salted meat, which had a very strong aroma. The members of Zhao Baoshan's family who were waiting outside the kitchen couldn't help but swallow their saliva. Zhao Yangyang said to Feng Zhangxia, "Grandma, it smells so good. Yangyang wants to eat it." Feng Zhangxia frowned. "Yangyang, wait a little longer. Grandma will cook for you later." "Mother, Yangyang is eating the food that Grandma made. Shin Pan explained. Oh, what did you eat when you were a baby? Smells so good. I don't think we have it at home. Shin Pan stretched out her nose and took a sniff. She was quite familiar with Xiang because before she got married, her family would always make salted fish and bacon at the end of every year. The villagers were poor and they couldn't even eat fresh pork, so they naturally didn't have the extra meat to make salted fish. If the salted meat was cooked properly, it was actually more delicious than fresh pork. For example, it was better to add some garlic to stir-fry it, or steam it with rice. The rice with the bacon would be infused with the fragrance of the bacon, which was very delicious. Shin Pan then explained to Feng Zhangxia, "Mom, it's bacon." Bacon? I heard it's salted meat, right? There aren't many people in our village who eat it. Shin Pan nodded. Yeah, we don't eat it often. Then where did you get the milk from? Feng Zhangxia asked with some puzzlement. It must be from Lord Meng. Shin Pan guessed. Thinking of the good things that young Master Meng sent over the other day, Hua Chunhua carried many of them into the house by herself, without letting the Zhao family see them. Hearing Shin Pan's words, Feng Zhangxia couldn't help but scold her. This old hag is so cruel. She keeps all the good stuff to herself and doesn't even give it to her sons and grandsons. When they're old and can't move anymore, let's see who's going to take care of her. The more Feng Zhangxia thought about it, the angrier she was. She didn't think that Lord Meng would give her the good things when they separated from the family. Now that they were divided, she didn't get any of Lord Meng's good things. Shin Pan comforted her mother, "Mother, don't think too much about it. When I go back, I'll go to my mother's house and bring some delicious food over. When Tianlong comes back, our good days will come. Right now, the most important thing is that we've separated from the family." Chapter 1294. Feng Zhangxia held Shin Pan's hand and said emotionally, "Panner, you're my best daughter-in-law." Shin Pan smiled and said to Feng Zhangxia, "Mom, it's what I should do. If your younger brother's future wife can be half as good as you, I'll be relieved." Feng Zhangxia sighed with emotion. Now that they had separated from the main family, there was basically nothing for him to worry about. The only thing he was worried about was Zhao Tianhu's marriage. After all, it concerned Zhao Tianhu's marriage, so he had to take it seriously. "Mom, my younger sister-in-law will definitely be fine," Shin Pan said with a smile, but she felt a little uncomfortable in her heart. It was said that sisters-in-law were difficult to get along with. Who knew what kind of woman Zhao Tianhu would marry? If she wasn't easy to get along with, they would feel uncomfortable living together. Most importantly, if Zhao Tianhu married a woman, would Feng Zhangxia be biased? When her younger sister-in-law gave birth to a child, she would inevitably need Feng Zhangxia's help to take care of it. At that time, Feng Zhangxia wouldn't have so much time to take care of her Yang. Feng Zhangxia held Shin Pan's hand and said, "I also hope that your younger sister-in-law will be a good girl. That way we can live in harmony with each other." Shin Pan smiled and nodded, but she had other thoughts in her heart. Now that the main family and old Zhao's family had separated from each other, Shin Pan was happy that this matter was solved. Now she was thinking that it would be better for her branch to separate from Zhao Tianhu's branch. Zhao Tianhu was just a farmer in the countryside. He couldn't be compared with Zhao Tianlong, who had obtained scholarly honors and was going to live a life of an official in the future. If she took Zhao Tianhu and his family with her, she would be asking Zhao Tianlong to take care of Zhao Tianhu's family for no reason. In that case, they would definitely be at a disadvantage. Unfortunately, Shin Pan couldn't say it now. If she said it, Feng Zhangxia would definitely be unhappy. She had to wait for a chance to say it in the future. Feng Zhangxia then pulled Shin Pan to talk about Zhao Tianhu's marriage. It wouldn't be long before Zhao Tianhu's wedding could be arranged. After finishing the meal in the third branch's house, Zhao Yuner went back home. She was carrying a food box with some food in it. Zhao Yuner wasn't sure whether the emperor had left or not, so she put more food in it. Otherwise, if it was like last time where the emperor ate all the food, Mu Lianfeng wouldn't be able to eat. She was still on the mountain, was still on the mountain. Was still on the mountain. Mu Lianfeng led the emperor around the mountain and took a look at the smelting and weapon manufacturing places. This batch of weapons can greatly enhance the strength of our soldiers in Dezhou. The emperor stood with his hands clasped behind his back. After seeing the scene on the mountain, he praised Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng nodded. "The weapons in Dezhou are definitely much better than those in other countries, but I don't dare to claim credit for it. It's all thanks to Yuner." The emperor's lips curled into a smile. "Don't worry, Miss Yuner has done a meritorious deed." "I know. In the future there should be a reward. I won't be short. I thank you on behalf of Yuner, your majesty. Mu Lianfeng said respectfully. Chapter 1295. Looking into the emperor's eyes, Mu Lianfeng's heart trembled. He felt that the emperor's sudden reaction was obviously because of some reason. Could it be that the emperor had doubts about his loyalty? His heart couldn't help but tighten. Mu Lianfeng hurriedly said, Your Majesty, this subject is loyal and devoted to your Majesty. This subject will follow your Majesty forever in this life. The emperor glanced at Mu Lianfeng and the smile on his lips deepened. Mu Aiqing, why are you so excited? Zhen was just saying it casually. Zhen knows your loyalty. Mu Lianfeng didn't know why, but because of the emperor's words, he became even more nervous. A layer of cold sweat involuntarily appeared on his forehead. Your Majesty, this subject will try my best. This subject will definitely not let your Majesty down. Mu Lianfeng opened his mouth and said, showing his loyalty in front of the emperor. The emperor's meaningful smile deepened. He didn't continue to answer Mu Lianfeng's words, which made Mu Lianfeng even more nervous. Just then he saw a woman's figure coming over. It was Zhao Yuner. Zhao Yuner greeted the two men. I brought you food. Come and eat quickly. Mu Lianfeng was thinking, but the emperor took a step forward and walked towards Zhao Yuner. After a while, Mu Lianfeng came back to his senses and followed the emperor's footsteps. It's really a blessing to be able to eat the food made by Miss Yuner again today. The emperor glanced at the food with a smile in his eyes. Zhao Yuner didn't know the emperor's identity. After knowing the emperor's identity, she was more or less afraid of this man. She was afraid that if she made him unhappy, she would suffer a calamity. It's nothing. It's just a few more dishes. If you want to eat, you can stay here for a few more days. Zhao Yuner said politely, but didn't expect the emperor to directly agree. Mu Lianfeng was speechless as he looked at the man in bright yellow clothes. He still wanted to stay for a few more days? How could that be? Facing him every day, Mu Lianfeng felt that he was already depressed enough. If he stayed with him for a few days, how could he bear it? Most importantly, the emperor had to go back and deal with Imperial Consort Hua's imperial decree. However, no matter how rich Mu Lianfeng's thoughts were, he didn't dare to reveal any of them in front of the emperor. He was afraid that he would say something wrong and anger the emperor. While Mu Lianfeng was deep in thought, Zhao Yuner had already placed the dishes on the small table. Seeing Mu Lianfeng in a daze, Zhao Yuner greeted Mu Lianfeng again. Seeing Mu Lianfeng's restless look, Zhao Yuner guessed the reason. She couldn't help but look at the emperor. Did he say something to Mu Lianfeng? Zhao Yuner didn't ask too much. After serving Mu Lianfeng and the emperor for lunch, Zhao Yuner went back. When she went down the mountain, she planned to go to Mulan's house and ask her to go up the mountain with her to pick tea. Just as she arrived at Mulan's courtyard, she heard the family Zhu quarreling. It was Madame Qi and Mrs. Zhu. Zhao Yuner vaguely heard Mrs. Zhu scolding Madame Qi, "You damned woman, look at what you've done. You bought a broken mountain. What's the use of it? You squandered all the money at home. Now you can't even pay for your third brother's treatment. See how I deal with you." Chapter 1296. Mrs. Zhu was furious. She pointed at Madame Qi's nose and continued to scold her. "Tish, you only know how to talk big. It's because you're the head of the household that we can't keep our money and you squandered it away." Madame Qi was not convinced by Mrs. Zhu's scolding. "Mother, what's wrong with spending money? Dania hasn't said anything yet. What right do you have to scold me? If the money was in your hands, you would probably spend it all on third brother. Why would you even think about us?" Mrs. Zhu glared fiercely at Madame Qi. "You little Tish, you know how to talk back. When Daniel comes back, I'll have a good talk with him and see if he can't deal with you." After Mrs. Zhu said that, Madame Qi felt a little scared. She only said it in front of Mrs. Zhu. If Zhu Dania came back and asked about the barren mountain, she wouldn't know what to say. She didn't want it to be like this. Who knew that the T.C. Zhao Yuner wouldn't buy it? Now she couldn't transfer it out. She thought about how she went over to the barren mountain yesterday. She went to look for Lord Li Zheng. When Madame Qi arrived at Li Zheng's house, Li Zheng happened to be home, so Madame Qi walked in. When Li Zheng saw Madame Qi, he wasn't very happy. This was because Madame Qi was a troublemaker in the village. She must be here for some trivial matter. However, even if he didn't welcome her, he couldn't stop her from coming. He asked Madame Qi, "Family Zhu's eldest daughter-in-law, what are you here for today?" Madame Qi went up to Lord Li Zheng and smiled at him with a fawning look. Lord Li Zheng? I'm here for something. There's something I want to discuss with you. Li Zheng's frown deepened. He had a premonition that something bad was going to happen. He replied faintly, just say it. I'll agree if I can. If I can't do it, I can't agree. Whether you agree or not depends on what it is. Madame Qi smiled embarrassedly and replied to Lord Li Zheng, Lord Li Zheng, you're right. I'm here to discuss with you about the barren mountain. Can our village still take it back? I'll return it to the village. Can you return the 5 taels of silver I gave you earlier? Hearing Madame Qi's words, Lord Li Zheng's face darkened. Originally, Zhao Yuner still wanted to buy it. However, after being tormented by Madame Qi, Zhao Yuner did not buy it. Because of this, Lord Li Zheng felt somewhat guilty towards Zhao Yuner. Now, Madame Qi wanted to return the barren mountain to the village. If that was the case, then what was the point of buying it in the first place? Seeing Li Zhengdaren's sullen face and not speaking, Madame Qi nervously glanced at Li Zhengdaren. Lord Li Zheng? My family really can't use this barren mountain. When I bought it, I didn't discuss it with my husband. Now, my husband scolded me to death. He said that if I can't get back the 5 taels of silver, he will beat me to death. Madame Qi wiped her tears as she spoke, looking exceptionally pitiful. For a moment, Lord Li Zheng didn't know what to say to Madame Qi. That saying was right. Heaven's sins could be forgiven, but self-inflicted sins were the hardest to bear. For a person like Madame Qi, if she didn't suffer a little, she wouldn't learn her lesson. Chapter 1297. Madame Qi had taken the initiative to spend 5 taels of silver to buy the barren mountain, so it was normal for Zhu Dainiu to be angry. If his wife had spent 5 taels of silver to buy something useless, he would probably be angry too. Madame Qi's tears kept falling, looking panicked and helpless. Seeing this, village head felt pity for Madame Qi. However, how could they return something that was sold for no reason? Moreover, Madame Qi had bought the barren mountain and he had already helped her with the paperwork. Unless someone else bought it from Madame Qi, the village would not spend money to take it back. Sympathy was sympathy, but some rules could not be broken. Lord Village Head said to Madame Qi, Family Zhu's eldest daughter-in-law, it's not that I don't want to help you, but the village really can't take back your barren mountain. It would have been fine if the paperwork hadn't been done, but now that the paperwork has been done, your name is also written on the title deed of the barren mountain in the village. Lord Village Head, can't you help me a little more? You can't just watch as my daimyo beats me to death, right? Madame Qi wiped her tears and continued to cry in front of Lord Village Head. Lord Village Head sighed deeply, Ai, Family Zhu's eldest daughter-in-law, I really can't help you. I'll talk to daimyo and ask him not to be agitated and not to beat you too hard. Madame Qi's eyes were still filled with worry. Lord Village Head, this won't do. My daimyo won't care. He'll deal with you verbally, but he'll continue to beat me later. Then I can't do anything about it. Family Zhu's eldest daughter-in-law, after all, you have a lot of responsibility for this matter. If you didn't insist on it back then, it wouldn't have ended up like this. Madame Qi pursed her lips and said, Lord Village Head, how would I know at that time? If she had known, she wouldn't have bought it even if she was beaten to death. Now he finally knew what it meant to be regretful. Ai, there's no way to change it now. Family Zhu's eldest daughter-in-law, instead of begging me, it's better to beg Zhao Yun, or she just happens to want to buy the barren mountain. Let her buy your barren mountain and you can get your 5 taels back. Now you'd better leave. It's useless to say anything to me. As Li Zheng spoke, he looked like he was chasing Madame Qi away. Madame Qi knew that Lord Li Zheng was chasing her away. No matter how much effort she put in, Lord Li Zheng would not pay attention to her. She felt a little uncomfortable and pursed her lips. In order not to be disliked by Lord Li Zheng, Qi turned around and left. As for Lord Li Zheng's suggestion for her to beg Zhao Yun, forget it. Zhao Yuner, that be *t, even if he begged her, it would probably be useless. Most importantly, Madame Qi couldn't bear to see her being humble to Zhao Yuner and Zhao Yun, showing off in front of her. After returning home, Madame Qi knew that she was at her wit's end and couldn't move the barren mountain out. She was afraid that Zhu Dainiu would mention this matter. Madame Qi thought about it again. Why did she want to take advantage of him? Great, now she had shot herself in the foot. Pulling her thoughts back to reality, Madame Qi angrily retorted in the face of Mrs. Zhu's incessant scolding, Mother, what's the use of scolding me? If you have the ability, go reason with Lord Li Zheng and ask him to take back the barren mountain. This way won't we get our 5 taels back? Chapter 1298. It's fine if you don't want to say it. But we can't afford the money for third brother's treatment. Anyway, it's not our family's treatment. Madame Chi replied uncomfortably. Mrs. Zhu was so angry at Madame Chi that she almost vomited blood. This stinky woman had grasped this point. Bitch, see if I don't teach you a lesson. Without Dainey's protection, where can you go? As Mrs. Zhu spoke, she picked up a stone from the ground and threw it at Madame Chi. Madame Chi quickly jumped away and frowned. She said angrily to Mrs. Zhu, "You old hag, you really dare to hit me? Aren't you afraid that you'll smash me to death?" "You deserve to be smashed to death," Mrs. Zhu replied fiercely. "All right. Vicious old hag, I usually put up with you because you're an elder. Since you've gone overboard, I won't be polite." As she spoke, Madame Chi rolled up her sleeves and looked like she was going to fight Mrs. Zhu to the death. In the courtyard, Mulan saw that her mother-in-law and sister-in-law were about to fight, so she quickly stepped forward and separated the two of them. "Mother, sister-in-law, don't fight. We're family. It's not good for anyone if you get hurt. If outsiders see this, they'll laugh at our family." Zhu. Mrs. Zhu also glared at Mulan and said to Mulan with a look of disdain, "That's enough, second daughter-in-law, don't be hypocritical. I don't usually see you being so filial." "Mother?" Mulan looked at Mrs. Zhu speechlessly. Why did she have to be scolded for no reason? Was it wrong for him to come and stop the fight? "Second sister-in-law, get out of the way. This old hag must be taught a lesson. Now that she's relying on Dainey's protection, who does she think she is?" Madame Chi pushed Mulan and despised Mulan for being a hindrance. Mulan looked at Madame Chi helplessly and then looked at Mrs. Zhu, not knowing what to say. After thinking about it, she decided not to meddle in other people's business. She cared about them in her heart, but she didn't end up well in front of them. Since that was the case, what was the point of her doing this? It was better to not meddle in order to avoid offending them. Mulan then stepped back and let Mrs. Zhu and Madame Chi fight. The two of them fought intensely. Mulan stood at the side and frowned. Seeing the scratches on old Madame Zhu and Qi Shi's faces, she sighed helplessly. She could only let them go. If she went to stop them now, her face would be scratched too. For her own safety, she couldn't eat it. It was a pity that Zhu Dainiu and Zhu Eru were not at home. Otherwise, it would be much better for the two men to go forward and stop them. This matter was caused by Zhu Sanlu, so Mulan said to Zhu Sanlu, "Third brother, mother and sister-in-law are fighting fiercely. Go and talk to them. Tell them to stop fighting. If the neighbors come over, they'll laugh at our family again." Zhu Sanlu looked at Mulan reluctantly and said to Mulan, "Sister-in-law, I don't want to." "Didn't you see that old sister-in-law and mother are fighting fiercely? If I go over now, wouldn't it be worse? What if my handsome face is scratched? Can you afford to pay for it?" Mulan's mouth twitched a few times and she looked at Zhu Sanlu speechlessly. A man saying such words was really too shameless. She didn't know how he had the nerve to say it. Chapter 1299. However, Zhu Sanlu didn't go over and Mulan couldn't urge him, so she could only let Zhu Sanlu do as he wished. Glancing at Zhu Sanlu, Mulan sighed in her heart. She felt that her third younger brother was really too heartless. Mrs. Zhu fought with Madame Chi because of him. Now that she was beaten until her face was covered in bruises, Zhu Sanlu didn't feel any heartache. She had never seen a son who treated his own mother this way. Mrs. Zhu had doted on Zhu Sanlu for so many years for nothing. She had raised an ingrate who had no conscience. However, Mrs. Zhu couldn't see through him. She still doted on Zhu Sanlu like a treasure. By the time Zhao Yun walked into the family Zhu's courtyard, Mrs. Zhu and Madame Chi were already fighting fiercely. Zhao Yun couldn't help but want to laugh when she saw the two of them. It was a happy sight to see a B*TCH fighting another B*TC. Zhao Yun looked at it with interest as if she was watching a show. Seeing that Zhao Yun had come over, Mulan went forward to greet Zhao Yun. "Yun, you're here?" Zhao Yun nodded and responded, "Yeah. I was going to ask you to go up the mountain to pick tea leaves, but I didn't expect to see this scene." Mulan smiled helplessly. "Yun, we've embarrassed ourselves in front of you." "Haha, this has nothing to do with you. The two of them are fighting. You can just watch the show. Actually, you don't have to get involved with people like them. Otherwise you'll get hurt." Mulan responded, "Yeah Yun, I know." Zhao Yun smiled and said, "Yeah, it's good that you know. I'm just afraid that you're too stupid. You can't be too kind-hearted." "Yun, I'll remember what you said." Zhao Yun recalled that Mrs. Zhu had said that she wanted to treat Zhu Sanlu's illness. She asked Mulan curiously, Sister-in-law Mulan, what illness did your third brother get? At the mention of this, Mulan's ears turned red. She pursed her lips and said, What illness? My mother didn't ask for money to treat my third brother's illness. She asked for money so that my third brother's lifeblood could survive. When Zhao Yuner heard Mulan's words, she couldn't help but choke. Your third brother's family jewels? They've been trampled on, so how can it be cured? Mulan shook her head. I don't know. I'm not sure. However, I have to say that in a village 20 miles away, there is a godly doctor who specializes in treating strange diseases. My mother asked around for a long time before she found out that this miracle doctor had cured someone's family jewels before. So, my mother wanted to take my third brother to have a try. If he succeeds, my third brother's family jewels will be preserved. In the future, he'll be able to marry a wife like a normal person. This way our family Zhu won't have a descendant. After Zhao Yuner heard this, she couldn't help but sigh in her heart. If Zhu Sanlu's family jewels were really cured, it would be terrible. Zhu Sanlu might harm people again like before. Therefore it was much safer for Zhu Sanlu to lose his family jewels. If Zhu Sanlu's family jewels were really cured, who knew if he would harm people again? In order to prevent accidents from happening, it was better for Zhu Sanlu to be treated. Fortunately, the family Zhu had no money now. Without money, there would be no money for treatment. Zhu Sanlu's family jewels would not be cured. Zhao Yuner felt a wave of sadness in her heart. Chapter 1300. With Zhao Yuner's reminder, Mulan remembered that her third brother was a dangerous person and could not be cured easily. Yuner, I know. Given the current situation, my third brother won't have the money to treat his illness. As Mulan said this, she heaved a sigh of relief in her heart. In the courtyard, Mrs. Zhu and Madame Qi were still fighting fiercely. They only stopped when Zhu Dainiu came back. Zhu Dainiu said unhappily to Mrs. Zhu and Madame Qi, What are you fighting about? What are you fighting about? Fighting and quarreling every day, isn't it annoying? Zhu Dainiu was in a bad mood and his face was gloomy. Originally he was working well in the field. Suddenly, someone ran to him and told him that his mother and wife were fighting. At that time there were many people around. After hearing this, they all looked at him strangely. Zhu Dainiu felt very embarrassed. After all, as a man he cared a lot about his reputation outside. It was not good to have his mother and wife talk badly about. Now that he was back, Zhu Dainiu vented his anger on Mrs. Zhu and Madame Qi. Madame Qi complained to Zhu Dainiu, Dainiu, you can't blame me for this. It's all my mother's fault. She picked up a stone and threw it at me first. I had no choice but to fight back. Mrs. Zhu glared at Madame Qi and said, Bitch, no one is better at lying than you. It's all because you wasted 5 taels of silver and caused your third brother to be unable to treat his illness. Dainiu, this prodigal mother can't manage the family well. In the future, it's better to put the family's money in my hands. Otherwise our family will have nothing to eat. Sooner or later this bitch will squander it all. If it weren't for Zhu Dainiu, Madame Qi would have gone forward and scratched Mrs. Zhu's mouth. This damned old woman only knows how to talk. Now, she still wants to manage the family's money like before. She is really wishful thinking. Dainiu, don't listen to your mother. Mother is doing this for your third brother. If you really put the money in her hands, she will probably spend it on your third brother. With your third brother's condition, it's a waste of money to treat him. If you want to cure him, I'm afraid it will be a bottomless pit. Madame Qi did not want to fall behind and whispered in Zhu Dainiu's ear. Old Madame Zhu's saliva directly sprayed on Qi Shi's face. Bullshit. You couldn't spit out ivory just now. You're still Lu Er's sister-in-law. Is there such a sister-in-law? Mother, you're really biased. It would be great if you could take care of our first branch like this. Madame Qi said sarcastically. Zhu Dainiu had a headache because of old Madame Zhu and Madame Qi. Shut up both. Mother Zhu is Dainiu. Do you believe that if you say another word, I'll give each of you a slap? Zhu Dainiu roared. His roar was so loud that Mrs. Zhu and Madame Qi's eardrums could not help but vibrate. The two of them were frightened by Zhu Dainiu and quickly shut their mouths. Zhu Dainiu glanced at Mrs. Zhu and then at Madame Qi. I am really unlucky to have met people like you. Next time if you make a fuss, get out. Don't stay in the courtyard. Madame Qi's reaction to Zhu Dainiu's words was not bad. She was already used to it. Mrs. Zhu, on the other hand, was very uncomfortable. Her son disliked her so much and even said such things about her. Anyone would feel very uncomfortable. Chapter 1301. Old Madame Zhu sat on the ground and kicked up her legs. As she cried, she continued to wail, "These days are not over at all. My wife is not a kind person. She bullies me all the time. It's better for her to die so that I don't have to suffer up there." "Hey old man, did you hear that?" Looking at Mrs. Zhu kicking her legs on the ground, Zhu Dania felt his temples ache uncontrollably. Wasn't her mother saying that he wasn't filial when she made such a fuss? If this was heard by others, they might poke him in the back again. He had to stay in the village and couldn't stand other people's gossip. Zhu Dania had to walk to Mrs. Zhu and pull Mrs. Zhu, who was on the ground. "Mother, what are you doing? You're shouting so loudly. The neighbors will hear it later." Mrs. Zhu replied unhappily, "So what if they hear it? I have to show them how hard my life is." Zhu Dania's face was dark and unsightly. "Mother, even if you don't think it's shameful, I still want to save my face. I just scolded you. Didn't you and Xiao Er's mother argue? If you two didn't argue in front of me, I wouldn't have scolded you. It's tiring enough to work every day. When I come home, I have to see you arguing. If you have so much energy, why don't you go to the field and help me?" After Zhu Dania finished, Mrs. Zhu closed her mouth. She had made a fuss before. Now that she saw Zhu Dania's face changed and he seemed to be angry, she didn't dare to make a fuss again. If she really annoyed Zhu Dania, she would end up in a miserable state. Mrs. Zhu said with embarrassment, "Oh, Dania, I don't want to do this, but your third younger brother's family jewels have to be cured. No matter how poor our family is, we have to cure your third younger brother. Otherwise, I won't be able to face your father when I go back." As old Madame Zhu spoke, her resentful gaze fell on Chisher. If this Tsich hadn't lost their family's money, they would have been able to pay for Zhu Sanlu's treatment. "Mother, I think it's fine to not treat third brother's family jewels. Anyway, he can't do anything good with that kind of thing." Zhu Dania didn't have any taboos in front of old Madame Zhu and directly said to her. Even if his family was rich, he wouldn't let Mrs. Zhu use the money to treat Zhu Sanlu's family jewels. Madame Qi hurriedly chimed in, "That's right, Mother. Don't you know what kind of person third brother is? It's a good thing that we don't have it, but if we do, we'll be in danger." Mrs. Zhu was furious. "I've never seen such a heartless brother and sister-in-law. Do you want our third branch to die?" Mrs. Zhu scolded. She breathed heavily and threatened Zhu Daniu and Mrs. Qi, "If you don't agree to cure your third younger brother today, I'll kill myself in front of you. After I die, I'll curse you." Mrs. Zhu's words were very serious. Zhu Daniu and Mrs. Qi were scared. People in the village were superstitious. They believed in things like curses very much. Chapter 1302. Zhao Yuner, who was watching the drama, had the same thought as Mrs. Qi. Mrs. Zhu wasn't very old. If she lived well, she could live for at least 20 years. Who wasn't afraid of death? Especially old Madame Zhu, she was probably even more afraid of death. If she really hit the wall, Mrs. Zhu would be terrified. Mulan watched from the side, but she was very worried. She was afraid that old Madame Zhu would really take things too hard and hit the wall. She looked at Mrs. Zhu with concern. Zhao Yun patted Mulan's hand and comforted her. "Mrs. Mulan, it's fine. Your sister-in-law is right. She's just bluffing. If you're scared, she'll achieve her goal." Mulan frowned and nodded. She murmured, "Well, I don't think so. My mother won't do that." Zhu Daniu glanced at Mrs. Zhu. He was a little worried at first, but after hearing Mrs. Qi's words, he thought it was reasonable. Zhu Daniu cared about money. He didn't know how much it would cost to cure his third younger brother. If he was soft-hearted and agreed, he would regret it in the future. Mrs. Zhu glared at Mrs. Qi. The more she thought about it, the more aggrieved she felt. They were sure that she wouldn't hit the wall, so they said those words. Thinking that Zhu Sanlu didn't have money to treat his illness, his penis couldn't recover, Mrs. Zhu felt desperate. Old Madame Zhu took a deep breath and mustered up her courage. She suddenly slammed her head against the wall. When she hit the wall, Mrs. Zhu deliberately controlled her strength. She only hit her head, but she wouldn't really kill herself. Ah! There was a sudden scream in the yard. Zhu Daniu and Mulan both ran to Mrs. Zhu at once. Zhu Daniu shouted, Mom, are you all right? Don't scare me." Mulan also shouted, "Mother, why did you hit your head against the wall?" Seeing this, Zhu Sanlu finally frowned and walked in the direction of old Madame Zhu. He knew better than anyone else that in the whole family Zhu, only his mother loved him the most. Without his mother, he couldn't live a good life. Therefore his mother couldn't be eaten. Even if she died, he had to be able to raise himself and take care of himself first. Only Madame Qi stood there in a daze. She didn't expect that old Madame Zhu would really hit the wall. At this moment she only muttered in her heart, "It's over, it's over. Zhu Dainiu will definitely scold her to death." What should she do? This damn old woman might harm others, but she still wanted to harm others after she died. Mrs. Qi silently prayed that she wouldn't be implicated. She didn't care about Mrs. Zhu's life at all. Old Madame Zhu's forehead was swollen and a lot of blood came out. It looked a little scary. Hearing Zhu Dainiu's voice, Mrs. Zhu pretended to cry. "You're such a heartless son. Why did you stop me? Do you still have me in your heart? I'd rather die." After all, she was his mother who raised him. Zhu Dainiu wasn't as heartless as Zhu Sanlu. Seeing Mrs. Zhu like this, he frowned and looked at Mrs. Zhu with worry. "Mom, don't be angry. Can't we talk it out? Do I have to find a living one?" Mrs. Zhu snorted. "Talk it out? What's there to talk about? Haven't you and your wife already made a deal?" "Mom." Chapter 1303. Mrs. Zhu didn't believe that Zhu Dainiu wouldn't be scared if she made a scene a few more times. Everyone cared about their reputation, and she knew that her son valued his reputation very much. If she died because of Zhu Dainiu, the villagers would definitely gossip about Zhu Dainiu. "Mom?" Zhu Dainiu truly felt somewhat helpless and he didn't know what to do. If he didn't agree, Mrs. Zhu would probably hit her head against the wall again. Zhu Dainiu couldn't be too harsh, so he could only angrily say to old Madame Zhu, "Mother, it's not that we don't want to treat third brother's illness. It's just that my wife has squandered all the money in the family. Mom, I'll teach her a lesson, but I don't have the money right now. Then I don't want to live anymore. If I can't cure Zhuang, there's no point for me to live anymore." Zhu Dainiu twitched the corners of his mouth. After thinking for a while, he said to his mother, "Mom, don't be like this. We need money to cure our third brother's illness. We can't steal money now. Well, why don't you ask our second brother and second sister-in-law for money? Their family is rich enough to build a house. I'm sure they can afford the money for our third brother's treatment." After Zhu Dainiu said that, Mrs. Zhu's sight fell on Mulan. Mulan's heart skipped a beat. What was Zhu Dainiu talking about? What did he mean by her family was rich? Her family wasn't living a good life either. Zhao Yun had borrowed the money to build a house. Now that the breakfast stand in the town was closed, they didn't have a fixed income. Before they found a new way to make money, they had to save money. They couldn't spend it casually. Zhu Dainiu had completely pushed all the blame onto her. It was impossible for Mulan to have any opinions in her heart. Second sister-in-law, mother gave birth to second brother and raised him. As a daughter-in-law, you should be filial to mother. You can't just watch mother die in front of us. Zhu Dainiu said to Mulan. Mulan couldn't help but snort coldly in her heart. Since she knew that she should be filial, why didn't she see how filial she was usually? Now she was talking about her. Mulan suppressed the anger in her chest and said to Zhu Dainiu, "Brother, what are you talking about? Your family has no money and my family has no money either. Second sister-in-law, if you don't want to care about our mother's life and death, just say it. How dare you say that you don't have money? Who doesn't know your family is rich?" Mrs. Zhu scolded, "Our old family Zhu has sinned by marrying a scourge. She only knows how to spend money on others and not on her own family." Mrs. Zhu was hinting at Mu Hin. Since Mulan had married into the family Zhu, she was a member of the family Zhu. In theory, she shouldn't meddle in her family's affairs. However, Mulan had brought Mu Hin to the family Zhu. In the family Zhu's eyes, they had raised an outsider for nothing. Mulan understood Mrs. Zhu's meaning, so she explained, "Mother, my sister didn't come here to eat for free. She helped me every day. During this period she helped Yun'er's breakfast stall and was paid. The money she earned was enough to pay for her living expenses." Mrs. Zhu didn't listen to Mulan's words. "You are such an unfilial daughter-in-law. Your old family Zhu has 8 generations of bad luck. You don't even care about your mother-in-law's life and death." Chapter 1304. Zhu Dainiu hurriedly continued to nag in Mulan's ear. Mulan's brows knitted together in displeasure. Her older brother was really too interesting. He was reluctant to fork out his own money and pushed the blame to her. His words were so pleasant to hear. He was obviously treating her like a fool. She wasn't really a fool. If this had happened in the past, Mulan might not have dared to say anything. Now that he was following behind Zhao Yun'er, he had learned not to be taken advantage of. This time Mulan replied somewhat unyieldingly. "Eldest brother, we borrowed money from Yun'er to build our house. Now we owe her dozens of taels of silver. Are you sure your family is poorer than mine? Not only do I have no money now, but I also owe a lot of money. At the very least, you don't owe anyone money, right? In comparison, you do have more money than me. So you have to take care of our mother's life first. You're the eldest son, the biological son. Your business is bigger than mine. When Mulan said this, Zhu Dainiu was immediately stumped and didn't know what to say. However, Zhu Dainiu couldn't bear to fork out the money, so he stubbornly said to Mulan, "Since your family can borrow dozens of taels of silver to build a house, why don't you continue to borrow more money to treat third brother's illness?" Mrs. Zhu followed behind Zhu Dainiu and agreed, "That's right, second daughter-in-law. If you have the ability to borrow money, why don't you borrow more to treat your third brother's illness?" Mulan's mouth twitched. She had never met such a shameless person. She actually dared to say such things. If she borrowed money from Zhao Yun to treat Zhu Sanlu's illness, she would definitely have to repay the money that she borrowed from Zhao Yun. The rest of the family Zhu definitely had no intention of helping her repay the money. Wouldn't it be equivalent to her paying for Zhu Sanlu's treatment? As expected, she was still too thin-skinned in front of them. Mulan was so angry that she wanted to curse. In the end, she calmed down and thought about it. She said to Zhu Dainiu and Mrs. Zhu, "Big brother, it's easy for you to say that. I've already seen dozens of taels of silver. How can I have the nerve to go and borrow more? If you want to borrow it, why don't you go, big brother?" Zhu Dainiu originally had an abacus in his heart. Now that Mulan said this, how could he continue with his wishful thinking? She pursed her lips and said to Mulan, "How can I borrow it? I'm not familiar with Zhao Yun. Even if I go over, she won't lend it to me. Second sister-in-law, you're familiar with Zhao Yun. As long as you ask, she won't refuse to lend it to you." Zhao Yun was speechless as she listened to the conversation. The Zhu family's top-notch goods were usually harder to find. It was obvious that they were ganging up to bully Mulan's family. As the saying went, kind people were bullied and kind horses were ridden. Sometimes one shouldn't be too nice. Otherwise, women would think that they were easy to bully. This was Mulan's family matter. As an outsider, Zhao Yun couldn't interfere too much. She waited to see how Mulan would deal with it. Mulan sneered, "Big brother, you have a great idea. You said that you don't have the money. If you really want to treat third brother, why don't you sell the family's 1 mu of land? Then you'll have the money. Why should I borrow it?" Chapter 1305. Zhu Dainiu's face instantly turned red when he heard Mulan's words. After all, he knew that he was in the wrong. He wanted to argue with Mulan, but he couldn't. Zhao Yun couldn't help but want to give Mulan a thumbs up. She was really good. She should have said that. There was no need to save any face for a weirdo like the family Zhu. Zhu Dainiu didn't say anything, but Mrs. Zhu started to make a fuss. "Second daughter-in-law, you be *tc. You still want to sell our family Zhu's fields. These are the roots of our family Zhu's livelihood. How are we going to survive without the fields? It's fine if you don't bear to part with the money, but how could you say such things? Family Zhu married you for nothing." Mulan said to Mrs. Zhu with a straight face, "Mother, I've already made myself very clear. Previously, when we separated from the family, third brother and eldest brother lived together. The fields were also handed over to eldest brother. My family didn't get any benefits. So, no matter what happened to third brother, he should look for eldest brother instead of us. If you really want me to be responsible for the money, why don't you transfer all of third brother's fields to me? My family will pay for third brother's treatment." After Mulan finished speaking, Mrs. Zhu's face darkened. How could he bear to hand over Zhu Sanlu's fields to Mulan? A mu of land was expensive. If Zhu Sanlu sold all of his fields, he would probably be able to get more than 10 taels of silver. And Zhu Sanlu's treatment didn't need more than 10 taels of silver. At most, he would only need a few taels of silver. She went to the godly doctor's village to inquire about the price. Because the godly doctor was from the countryside and wasn't a famous doctor in Yang City, the house visit fee wasn't expensive. The villagers basically didn't have much money. The godly doctor knew that, so he never asked for a high price. You black-hearted wife. My heir didn't say anything, but you said it. I'll ask heir to pay for it later." Mrs. Zhu replied unwillingly. Mulan snorted coldly, "Mother, it doesn't matter who you tell. Anyway, my family has no money. Heir can't take it out either." When Mrs. Zhu heard this, her heart sank. She slapped her thigh and cried, "I don't want to live anymore. I don't want to live anymore. I'll just kill myself. They were all heartless people. Old man, if you leave, my life will be miserable." The whole family only knows how to bully me. With that, Mrs. Zhu wanted to bang her head against the wall again. Originally, Mulan still cared about Mrs. Zhu. But now, she didn't want to talk to Mrs. Zhu at all. Because as long as they paid attention to Mrs. Zhu, the second branch would be at a disadvantage. Anyway, Zhu Dainyu was there. If even her son didn't care about her, how could outsiders cast their eyes on her, their daughter-in-law, to blame? Sometimes, one had to be ruthless, especially in a situation like this where it was obvious that they would be at a disadvantage if they were soft-hearted. Second sister-in-law, are you really going to watch our mother die without doing anything? Zhu Dainyu gulped as Mulan asked. Mulan replied, Big brother, are you going to watch our mother die without doing anything? Why don't you sell a mu of land and raise enough money to treat third brother's illness? That way we won't have to seek death. Zhu Dainyu choked and didn't know how to reply. When did his second sister-in-law become so eloquent? She wasn't like this in the past. Chapter 1306. Zhu Sanlu walked over to Mrs. Zhu impatiently and said to Mrs. Zhu, Mother, why are you crying? Don't make a fuss. If it doesn't work, just sell me 1 mu of land to save me the trouble. Mrs. Zhu stopped crying and blinked at Zhu Sanlu. Lu, that's the capital for your future wife. If you sell the land, how will you and your wife live in the future? If you don't have land to plant, you won't have food to eat. You'll starve to death. Mrs. Zhu loved her youngest son dearly. She was afraid that Zhu Sanlu wouldn't have a good life in the future, so she started to scheme for Zhu Sanlu. Zhu Sanlu replied indifferently, Mother, that's a matter for the future. We'll talk about it later. The most important thing now is to cure my manhood. Otherwise, without it, how can I get a wife? I'm afraid I'll be single for the rest of my life. Mrs. Zhu thought about Zhu Sanlu's words. That was indeed the case. If Zhu Sanlu's manhood couldn't be cured, he would be equivalent to a cripple in the future. Even if he got a wife, he wouldn't be able to carry on the family line. Wouldn't that be tantamount to being boring? The most important thing now was to cure Zhu Sanlu. Alright then. Later, I'll ask your eldest brother to help you find the person who bought the land and sell 1 mu of land to treat your illness. Mrs. Zhu responded. Seeing that Mrs. Zhu had thought it through and stopped tormenting him, Zhu Dainyu finally breathed a sigh of relief in his heart. He followed Mrs. Zhu and said, Mother, I'll help you ask later. Mrs. Zhu snorted and glanced at Zhu Dainyu unhappily. In the end, it's because of your good wife. If she hadn't lost the 5 taels of silver, would our family be able to buy Lu Er's land now? Zhu Dainyu's expression was also ugly. Thinking of this, Zhu Dainyu became angry. His unhappy gaze fell on Mrs. Qi. Mrs. Qi felt very uncomfortable when Zhu Dainyu looked at her like this. She replied weakly, I didn't think of it. It's been a few days and this barren mountain hasn't been sold yet. I think you want to keep this thing to eat? Zhu Dainyu scolded Mrs. Qi angrily. Dainyu. I'm also anxious, but I can't find anyone to buy it. Didn't you say that Zhao Yun'er wants it? Hurry and ask her if she still wants it, we have to sell it. Otherwise we won't get a farts. After Zhu Dainyu finished speaking, he didn't forget to add, if you can't get me some money, I'll really rent you out. Let's see if you, life. Madame Qi responded weakly and looked at Zhao Yun'er. She really had no choice but to beg Zhao Yun'er, because she really didn't want to be rented out to give birth to another man's child and become his wife. Generally, men who gave birth to women couldn't marry a wife. They were either too ugly or too poor. They could only rent a woman back to give birth to a child to carry on the family line. If she really went over, then her life would be miserable. Thinking about her future life, she had to beg Zhao Yun'er no matter what, even if her heart was full of unwillingness. At this time, Zhao Yun'er was still in the family Zhu's courtyard talking to Mulan. It was nothing more than praise for Mulan. Chapter 1307. Before she could say a few words to Mulan, she saw Madame Qi walking towards her. Zhao Yun'er raised her head, the corners of her mouth evoked a cold smile. Madame Qi stopped in front of Zhao Yun'er and smiled at Zhao Yun'er. Madame Qi's sudden show of goodwill, Zhao Yun'er knew that it must be because of something. She sneered and asked, Sister-in-law, do you have something to say? Madame Qi asked in a fawning manner, Yun'er, do you still want to buy that barren mountain? Zhao Yun'er knew what Madame Qi meant. She shook her head and replied, Didn't I say already? I don't need it anymore. Madame Qi suddenly became anxious. Yun'er, didn't you want it before? Why do you suddenly not want it now? Do you think that the price I quoted is too high? How about this, we can discuss the price as long as you're willing to buy it? Madame Qi wouldn't have said this before. Now that she was forced into a corner, she could only say this to Zhao Yun, because if she didn't sell the barren mountain, she would suffer in the future. Price. Then tell me yourself, how much are you going to give up? Zhao Yun hooked up the corner of her mouth and asked. This. Madame Qi's eyes turned. She had to think of a compromise price. She wouldn't suffer too much loss and her daughter was willing to buy it. Yun, how about this, I'll transfer 4 taels of silver to you. I'll lose 1 tael and you'll save 1 tael of silver compared to buying it directly from there. If Zhao Yun didn't accept it, it could only be said that Zhao Yun was too greedy. To Madame Qi's disappointment, Zhao Yun really didn't say a word. Madame Qi became even more anxious. Zhao Yun, for taels of silver is already very low. Don't tell me you still want more? I can't give you the entire barren mountain, right? Zhao Yun's eyes flashed with a trace of craftiness as she faintly spat out 2 words, 2 taels. What? Madame Qi's eyes widened as if she didn't understand what Zhao Yun said. Zhao Yun explained, don't you understand? What I mean is, if you want to sell it to me, I will only give you 2 taels of silver. Madame Qi opened her mouth and was a little angry. How could she be like this? Wasn't this clearly bullying and taking advantage of her? Zhao Yun chopped off more than half of the 5 taels of silver worth of goods. How big of a loss did their family have to suffer? Zhao Yun, isn't 2 taels of silver too little? I spent 5 taels of silver to buy it. Even if you go to Li Zheng's place, I'm afraid you won't be able to buy a place for 2 taels of silver. Madame Qi frowned and said to Zhao Yun. What Madame Qi said was the truth. Not only could they not buy it, even finding a mountain to grow tea leaves was more difficult. After all, some places were remote or on the higher side, or because of the direction of the terrain they were not suitable. Those places required time, energy and money to develop, so it was more difficult. Instead, the barren mountain in Madame Qi's hands was the most suitable. If it wasn't because of this, Zhao Yun wouldn't have spent this time to deal with Madame Qi. With her character, she wouldn't have bought it if Madame Qi did such a thing. If you're not selling it for 2 taels, then forget it. We have nothing to discuss. Zhao Yun directly opened her mouth and said to Qi Shi. Madame Qi's face was bitter as she looked at Zhao Yun. Yun, 2 taels of silver is really too little. Why don't you add a little more? If you add a little more, I'll sell it to you. 2 taels of silver, I can't add any more. Chapter 1308. Zhao Yun sneered. When she saw Madame Qi's distressed expression, she felt happy. Madame Qi originally planned to get money from her, but she probably didn't expect that she would suffer a double loss. How delightful. She had to let these greedy people suffer. Otherwise, these people would still be like this next time. Forget it, forget it. Since you don't want to sell it for 2 taels and 5 taels, I don't want this barren mountain anymore. Zhao Yun waved her hand, looking like she didn't want to continue the discussion. Madame Qi bit her lower lip. Zhao Yun didn't want to buy it. She was afraid that if she transferred the 2 taels of silver to someone else, they wouldn't want it. After all, who wouldn't buy a barren mountain for no reason? She spent money and couldn't take care of it, so she couldn't grow food. She didn't know why Zhao Yun wanted to buy a barren mountain. Otherwise, she could learn from Zhao Yun and make something out of it. Yun you also know that the things I bought with 5 taels of silver were cut in half. It's really too much. We're all honest people, so we can't take advantage of you too much. If you really want to buy it, I'll give you 3 taels. Is that okay? Zhao Yun's eyes turned. 3 taels was really too little. This Madame Qi saved her 2 taels of silver in one go. Zhao Yun couldn't help but feel a little comfortable. However, she pretended to be in a difficult position. Sister-in-law, actually, I don't have much use for this barren mountain. It's dispensable. 3 taels of silver is a good thing. Yes. Yun, you're right. But I did spend 5 taels of silver to buy this barren mountain. You know, the price I paid was enough. You bought it, so you made a profit. All right then. 3 taels it is. This is because I'm giving face to sister-in-law Mulan. Otherwise, no matter how much you beg me, I won't buy it. Madame Qi smiled embarrassedly. Obviously, her heart was bleeding and she wanted to curse. But in front of Zhao Yun, she still had to smile and follow behind Zhao Yun to agree. Yes. Yun, I'll remember it. Later, give me 3 taels of silver and I will let you have the title deed. You just have to let Lord Li Zheng handle the procedures. Zhao Yun responded faintly. Thinking that Madame Qi had lost 2 taels of silver at once, Zhao Yuner felt very happy. It wasn't easy for them to sell the barren mountain. Although they had lost a lot of money, Madame Qi finally felt relieved. After Zhao Yuner finished talking, Madame Qi turned to Zhu Dainiu and explained to Zhu Dainiu. Zhu Dainiu still scolded Madame Qi, "It's all because of you, stinky woman. You made me lose 2 taels of silver at once. Later, if you don't earn back those 2 taels of silver for me, you'll get it." Madame Qi curled her lips in grievance and said to Zhu Dainiu, "Dainiu, how can I have the ability to earn money? The child is still young. I have to take care of the child, cook and do housework. I can't find the time." Zhu Dainiu snorted coldly, "Why can't you do it? Could it be that second sister-in-law has to do less work and take care of less children than you? How come she can earn money but you can't?" Speaking of this, Zhu Dainiu felt very uncomfortable in his heart. He was somewhat envious of his second brother, Zhu Eru. Chapter 1309. Now his second brother's family could live in a big house, but he still had to stay in a small thatched hut. When the villagers talked about the 2 brothers, they would definitely say that his second brother was more capable than him. How could he be balanced in his heart? Madame Qi curled her lips in grievance and said, "Qiao's father, second sister-in-law is second sister-in-law. I'm not as capable as second sister-in-law. Aren't most women in the village the same? How can I make money?" Madame Qi's words only sounded like an excuse to Zhu Dainiu. After a cold snort, he continued to scold Madame Qi, Okay, don't give me so many excuses. If second sister-in-law can make money, you have to make money too." Madame Qi was very embarrassed and said to Zhu Dainiu, "Dainiu, it's not as simple as you say. Second sister-in-law can make money because she followed Zhao Yunhe. Zhao Yunhe has the capital to do business, but I don't have any capital. Where can I make money?" Zhu Dainiu glared at Madame Qi, thinking that this woman had so many excuses. It was fine that she didn't have the ability, but she made so many excuses in front of him. "Second sister-in-law, you also made a lot of money without following Zhao Yunhe. In the end, it's all because you don't have the ability." Zhu Dainiu snorted softly, thought for a while and said, "Didn't second sister-in-law make that wicker basket and sell it to make money before? You should follow second sister-in-law and learn from her. Make some wicker baskets and sell them." Madame Qi continued to think of a way to refute Zhu Dainiu's words. "Qiao's father, you can't say that. I don't know how to weave. Second sister-in-law may not teach me how to weave. I'll talk to second sister-in-law. If second sister-in-law agrees, you have to learn from her." Madame Qi responded weakly and didn't dare to object. Zhu Dainiu walked up to Mulan and looked at Mulan ingratiatingly, "Second sister-in-law, can you teach your weaving skills to your sister-in-law?" Mulan was a little angry about what happened just now, so she didn't want to talk to Zhu Dainiu. However, Zhu Dainiu was thick-skinned and did not want to leave. Mulan continued, "Second sister-in-law, don't be angry. Just teach your sister-in-law. Look at us, the people of the first branch don't have it easy. It was still okay before, but your sister-in-law lost so much money all of a sudden. If she doesn't earn some money, she probably won't be able to live on. There are old and young at home." After listening to Zhu Dainiu's complaints, Mulan's heart softened. She thought that teaching Madame Qi how to weave a wicker basket was nothing. If she taught Madame Qi how to weave a wicker basket, Madame Qi would have something to do every day. It would save Madame Qi the trouble of coming over and looking for trouble. Mulan said to Zhu Dainiu, "Big brother, I can teach her, but I have to make it clear that weaving a wicker basket is not that easy. It's easy to hurt your hands. It's hard to make money by doing this." It was Madame Qi's hard work. It had nothing to do with Zhu Dainiu, so Zhu Dainiu said indifferently, "It's okay. What kind of money is easy to make?" "That's fine," Mulan responded. Zhu Dainiu walked up to Madame Qi and greeted her, "Second sister-in-law has agreed. You go back and learn. Be honest and diligent or you'll be in trouble." Madame Qi pursed her lips, "I know Qiao's father. I will learn well." Chapter 1310. Seeing Zhu Dainiu's attitude towards Madame Qi, Zhao Yun'er could not help but sigh. A pitiful person must have a hateful side. Madame Qi was like this. People were hateful, but at the same time they had a pitiful side. For example, Madame Qi was so miserable because of Zhu Dainiu. Zhu Dainiu did not seem to care at all. Since she was his wife, shouldn't he dote on her? Why did he treat Madame Qi like this? However, this was other people's business. Zhao Yun'er could not care so much. She just needed to deal with her own business. After leaving Mulan's house, they went to the mountain together to pick tea leaves. When they came back from picking tea leaves, a middle-aged man came to Zhao Yun'er's house. It turned out that the deputy county magistrate sent him to inform Zhao Yun'er. Many people in Yang City liked Zhao Yun'er's tea leaves very much, so many people wanted to order a batch. The deputy district magistrate thoughtfully gave a list of the people who needed tea and how much tea they needed. He asked someone to give it to Zhao Yun'er. This way it would be very convenient for Zhao Yun'er to calculate. She could clearly know how many caddies of tea she needed. After the person who sent the message left, Zhao Yun'er opened the letter and calculated. The amount of tea leaves needed was too large. She had to prepare a total of 70 to 80 kilograms of tea leaves. At present she only had 30 kilograms at most. She did not have so much tea leaves at all. However, she could not delay for too long. Otherwise, those customers would be dissatisfied. It seemed that these people who were hired to pick tea leaves in the mountain had to bring back more. Otherwise, in the current situation, the supply would not meet the demand. Zhao Yun'er thought about it. There were not many people in the village who could be trusted. It was not easy to find a few reliable people. If she randomly found a few people, she was afraid that she would be targeted. Zhao Yun'er frowned and thought about how to solve this problem. While Zhao Yun'er was thinking, Mu Lianfeng came back from the mountain. Zhao Yun'er smiled. "Why are you back so early today?" "His Majesty is preparing to go back tomorrow. There's nothing else to do now." Zhao Yun'er heaved a sigh of relief and replied, "It's good that he's fine. You're always a little uncomfortable with him here." Zhao Yun'er suddenly thought of what the emperor had said to a dark-skinned man on the mountain that day. She had forgotten to tell Mu Lianfeng. She hurriedly told Mu Lianfeng, "There's something I forgot to tell you." Zhao Yun'er repeated what the emperor had said to the black man that day. When Mu Lianfeng heard this, he frowned. After thinking for a while, he understood. So that's how it is. In the end, he was still suspicious of me. Mu Lianfeng's tone was a little disappointed. He was diligent and loyal to the emperor. Could it be that the emperor was suspicious of him because of a few words from others? Or it could be said that the emperor did not trust anyone. As an emperor, he was too suspicious. This was not a good thing. Zhao Yun'er comforted him. "You don't have any ulterior motives. I believe that he can see through it. It's fine." Mu Lianfeng nodded. Even if there was a problem, there was nothing he could do. He could only prove his innocence through his own actions. As long as the emperor did not make things difficult for him and Zhao Yun'er on the marriage. Zhao Yun'er and Mu Lianfeng went to rest early. Chapter 13:11. The food and vegetables that were previously prepared at home were almost finished. She had to cook some fresh things for Daodu and Mu Lianfeng. Zhao Yun'er felt that her Xiao Mao was very excited on the way to town. For a while, Zhao Yun'er didn't bring Xiao Mao out for a stroll. Xiao Mao probably felt that it wasn't of any use, so it couldn't hold back when it was at home. Seeing that Xiao Mao was running like a gust of wind, Zhao Yun'er couldn't help but exhort Xiao Mao. "Xiao Mao, slow down. Don't be anxious. We're not in a hurry to go to town. There's plenty of time." However, Xiao Mao didn't seem to understand Zhao Yun'er's words and continued to run forward with all its might. Zhao Yun'er felt a little helpless and could only let Xiao Mao run. She reckoned that Xiao Mao was like this because it hadn't been strolling for a long time. Soon she saw Xiao Mao catch up with the carriage in front of them. When the carriage driver saw that Zhao Yun'er's donkey carriage was running faster than him, there was a trace of shock in his eyes. How was this possible? Could it be that his eyes were playing tricks on him? The carriage driver rubbed his eyes. He didn't see it wrongly. It was a donkey. Ah, the carriage driver couldn't help but scream. A donkey spirit, it was definitely a donkey spirit. Otherwise, how could a little donkey run faster than a horse? After hearing the carriage driver scream, Zhao Yun'er turned around, wondering what was going on. The emperor who was in the carriage also stuck his head out. The emperor asked in a somewhat cold voice, "What happened?" The carriage driver hurriedly restrained the shock in his eyes and appeared to be a little calmer. He pointed at Zhao Yun'er's little donkey and said to the emperor, I saw a spirit. Young master, quickly hide in the carriage and don't come out." The emperor's brows immediately wrinkled. He looked in the direction the carriage driver pointed and actually saw Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er also saw the emperor. What a coincidence. They actually bumped into each other on the way. The emperor reprimanded the coachman. "Demon, tell me, who is the demon? That woman was fine, so why did she suddenly say that?" The coachman hurriedly explained, "Young master, you've misunderstood. I'm not talking about that woman, I'm talking about that donkey. Look, where can you see a donkey that runs faster than a horse? Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. It was like a gust of wind when it ran. If it wasn't a spirit, then what was it? In my opinion, he is a donkey demon. That woman raised a donkey spirit. I don't think she's a simple character. The corners of the emperor's mouth twitched. He didn't know what to say. Then he turned his attention to Zhao Yun'er's Xiao Mao. However, he agreed with the coachman's last sentence. Zhao Yun'er was indeed not a simple woman. She was the most special woman he had ever seen. As for Zhao Yun'er's donkey demon, it was indeed very fast. He had seen many rare treasures over the years, but he had never seen such a donkey. Thus he replied to the coachman, "It's indeed not simple. But a spirit shouldn't be." The emperor was very clear in his heart. Although Zhao Yun'er was different, she was still a normal person in the end. Zhao Yun'er hurriedly pulled Xiao Mao and said to Xiao Mao, "Xiao Mao, wait. I met an acquaintance. Say hello to him." Chapter 13:12. The emperor greeted Zhao Yun'er. "Yun'er, what a coincidence." Zhao Yun'er nodded. "Yes, what a coincidence. Is young Master Huang going back today as well?" Yes. "Are you going to the county magistrate's residence or going home?" Zhao Yun'er asked. "I'm going to the county magistrate's residence first to bid farewell to the county magistrate before going home." Zhao Yun'er was silent for a moment. Since young Master Huang said he was going home, he was probably going back to the palace. She didn't know if he was going to deal with Mu Lianfeng's betrothal. Zhao Yun'er smiled and said to young Master Huang, "I'm also going to the county magistrate's residence. If I had known earlier, I would have accompanied young Master Huang. At least, I have someone to talk to on the way and I won't be too lonely." Zhao Yun'er was just being polite. After all, she had to maintain a good relationship with young Master Huang. If she wanted to be with Mu Lianfeng in the future, she might have to rely on the emperor. The emperor chuckled and said, "If I knew that Miss Yun'er was going to the county magistrate's residence today, I would naturally accompany Miss Yun'er. But since we met on the way, it's a coincidence. The two of us can accompany each other and chat for the rest of the journey." As the emperor spoke, he got down from the carriage and directly sat on Zhao Yun'er's donkey cart. Zhao Yun'er was slightly stunned. She couldn't help but ask the emperor, "Your Majesty, are you sure this is okay?" "Miss Yun'er, what do you think is wrong?" Zhao Yun'er swallowed her saliva. The emperor was the emperor. He was second only to one person and above thousands of people. With such a noble status, how could he sit in a donkey cart? At least he should sit in a carriage, right? "Yes. My family's donkey cart is too simple and crude. It's more comfortable for you to sit in a carriage. Otherwise the journey might be a little bumpy and your butt will hurt." Zhao Yun'er spoke out her worries. The emperor didn't mind and came back. "So what? Since Miss Yun'er can sit here, I can sit here too." Zhao Yun'er replied helplessly. All right. Since she wanted to sit, he didn't think much of it, so he couldn't stop her. Thus, she allowed the emperor to continue sitting on her donkey cart. The emperor's lips curled up slightly as he joked with Zhao Yun'er. "This young master feels that Miss Yun'er's donkey is very special. I don't know how it feels to sit on it, so I came over to give it a try." Xiao Mao seemed to understand the emperor's words and proudly raised its neck. If he was a human, he would definitely tell the emperor that it was a given. At least he had good taste. Otherwise, he wouldn't be willing to pull a stranger. The coachman sighed. "Young master is right. I've traveled extensively for so many years, but I've never seen such a special donkey." Zhao Yun'er pursed her lips. What could she say? She couldn't explain it either. Her family's Xiao Mao was so amazing that she didn't even understand it herself. She laughed embarrassedly. "Yes. My family's donkey is indeed a little special, but it's nothing much. There are many strange things in this world." The emperor thought about it and felt that it was true. There were many things that people had never seen before. The world was so big that there were all kinds of strange things. He was a knowledgeable person, so he wasn't too shocked by Zhao Yun'er's donkey. Zhao Yun'er called out to the emperor, "Young Master Huang, sit tight. We have to set off." That you're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.